Hello everyone, and welcome to the Lonely House of Neverwinter. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Sean and I will be your Dungeon Master for tonight. We're excited to be streaming at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. For those who are new to Dungeons and Dragons, everyone here will play a fantasy character in a fantasy universe. 5 players each have their own unique character with sheets that tell them who they are, what they can do, how likely they are to go on a rampage, killing every Grimishka in sight, that kind of thing.
Who would do such a thing?
Throw a magic inhibiting creature against a party of casters? No. And it also tells them what dice to roll. In most cases, it will be one of these, which you have probably seen on the interwebs, a d20. A 20 being a very, very good thing happens, almost on the edge of humanoid capabilities. And a 1 would be a very, very bad thing. Something, that you hope would not end up on one of those awful clip show kind of things.
Well, I'm glad that's where you went.
What? I'm not even going to...
Seamless.
Yep. And whilst they play their characters, everything else in said fantasy universe is played by me. People, monsters, swarms of hairless hyena cats, etc., etc., etc. Between me describing the world and the story, the players describing what they want to do in it, and some dice rolls to keep things unpredictable for all of us, we will tell our story. So, speaking of our players, let's talk to them. In an attempt to impose order on an increasingly chaotic campaign, I've determined your order in a few different ways so far, but as today is our last session, and as I'm the sentimental sort, today we're going around in the order in which I met each of you, which means, Lola, you're our first up. Yeah, we met at
I can't believe you forgot meeting us.
we met at a board game cafe yonks ago now.
Yeah. I can't even remember when.
How many years? How many years? Let's make it proper. Like, how old are we all?
I think it was either 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Like a board games night at a pub or a cafe.
Yeah, I don't remember at all. So, yes, I am Lola. Pronouns are they, she. And I play Suasku, whose pronouns are they, them.
Anything memorable about last session?
Still kind of stuck on the Gibbering Mountlet, but that wasn't as bad as we made it out to be. So not too bad. And
none of us got bitten by it. If you get bitten by it and you reduce your hit points, it just devours you and you're gone.
Yeah, no, but we managed to survive that, and there were some very funny bits, and I'm still kind of laughing to myself about the idea of Barley still being attached to the Gibbering Mountlet and dragging it around. Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, next up, Chris. We met same year, I think, through M.
Through M, yeah. What were we doing?
I think we met up to play Dread.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I think so too. You're right. That's a long time ago. Wow. I'm old. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Murine, who also uses they, them pronouns. My favourite moment of the last session, of the whole last session or the whole game?
You do whole game, actually, if there's anything particularly... Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been a journey.
Yes. My favourite moment is when Dave was insistent that he had been outside the room when the spore bomb went off that infected us all with the horrible affliction we all have, but already had caught it from a cloak he picked up 5 minutes earlier. That's the piece.
Yeah, which he was also very clear didn't equip.
Yeah, I didn't equip it, and I wasn't in the room. Did you also not inhale, Dave? I'm just checking.
I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
Did you sanitize after? That's the real question.
I'm the Shaggy of D&D. It wasn't me.
Well, David, you're actually next. We met through Chris. I can't remember if it was your Chris's birthday or if it was for a campaign that was run.
It's Frontier. It was definitely Frontier. Oh, you weren't in Frontier.
I wasn't in Frontier. No.
I thought you were.
It was Union.
So it might have been. Was it at the pub down in to South?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Because Chris's birthdays are somewhat legendary.
They used to be.
Used to be. The times will come again. We're all gonna get through this, as Daniel Bedingfield said.
Sorry, I should explain. My birthdays, we tend to all meet up and do like a massive one shot with like 50 people. Like it's and they're always
Trap dungeons.
Yeah, trap dungeons and murder hoboing. It's all great fun.
Everyone loves the meat grinders.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times I met Em was being killed by a dragon, but that's by the by. So I am still David. I am still playing Eltrion, both still he, him. The saddest thing about being David is being a New York Giants fan. The hardest thing about, the most memorable thing about Eltrion, certainly that's fresh in my mind from the last session, is just having enough of having the fill of Grimishka, reaching peak Grimishka. And the happiest moment is when John's character Juliet was like, I think we should kill Grimishka. I mean, like, yeah. No, I'm not suggesting it. Yeah, let's get in there. So that was fun. But I think Eltrion's arm is a bit sore because he's not used to using daggers. But hey ho, on with the fun.
And Liz, you're next. We met on Flustered in the Feywild.
Good. So I am Liz. I use she, they pronouns. I'm playing Barley, who uses she pronouns. So a lot's happened that I think Barley's quite enjoyed. Barley was on a street, point one, which was a new day for Barley. She met Franklin, who was pretty awesome. We found the house. There was a minute with Ted. We have a lot of time for Ted. We enjoyed Ted. There were cat hyenas. And Barley's found friends, which is always good. I think there's some sort of hidden admiration for Juliet somehow. We'll investigate that later. It's fine. I think my most favourite bit is definitely the attachment to the gibbering mouther. So Lola, I'm with you. That was a good time for everybody. I enjoyed that.
Fantastic. And John, last but not least, we are fresh friends. We met doing this, and I'm sure we will stretch out into the eons past.
I hope so too, and it's been such a privileged view into your crazy brain. For this to be like at the level that we have met, I feel it can only go up from here.
Actually, John, I have to share this with you because you'll love this. When Sean and I were talking casting for this, and I said that you were great, Sean said, do you think it's going to work for horror? And I mentioned that you were Red's friend. He went, yeah, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I love an eldritch terror. A lot of cats, as I think as Liz intimated, a lot of cats. No, it was over a WhatsApp. Cats and tentacles and like fleshy piles. It's like being in Red's world.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. When it all links. You freaks. I am John. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Juliet, who uses she, her pronouns. Juliet is having, she's on a journey. She likes conflict and she likes finding resolutions to it, and she feels there's something definitely going on in this house and she wants to try and fix it. She's really interested in Phil, our big homunculus friend. Kind of wants to take off his helmet. That's where she is at the moment. She wants to see who's behind it.
I'm concerned.
Oh, Phil.
Well, before we get on to Phil and the other elements that made up the last session, we have some admin to do. So this stream will run for 3 hours, and there will be a roughly 5-10 minutes break somewhere in the middle. We can't say exactly where, as we are improvising as we go. We're making up on the spot, and we hope it doesn't show. We're delighted to be sponsored by Hero Forge. Hero Forge offer fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy races and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tools let you build your perfect miniature online using a fully 3D, in-depth character creator right in your web browser. Hero Forge is constantly expanding the catalogue of customization options, so there's always something new to check out at heroforge.com. Cold read going well so far.
Yes.
We haven't commented on this the entire way through, Sean, but one of my favourite things about the minis for this campaign is that when we show them in big, like they are right now, we jump from Barley to Murine, and Barley's like 7 foot tall, and Murine's tiny. So you get this humongous mini, tiny mini, and it's just a very nice.
My favourite thing about the minis is that mine has a quarterstaff that I'm not actually strong enough to have in game.
Your quarterstaff has like a sort of scythe blade on it. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
You literally never mentioned in campaign 1.
It's a magic
What I like
effect, isn't
about
it?
mine is how her wing comes out in my frame to about here. So just half moustache I'm wearing.
The editors probably tried their best.
I have a feeling in the one of the episodes they did kind of slide you along in your image, so you're like, yeah, cool,
you.
we're good.
My own
Cool.
stupid fault.
All right. We're also delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. Get your tabletop organized with character folios and dice bags. Ultra Pro is the leading manufacturer and supplier of gaming collectibles, accessories, and other paraphernalia, such as the figurines of adorable power. And adorable they are. Oh, we have the owl bear.
Ogre.
Ogre, yes.
Ogre.
Ogre is a different thing, I think. So join us in the Twitch chat today to win a gift voucher. Just say something, anything. So tell us how you're enjoying the campaign, or not, because it's horrific. And you'll be entered into a random draw. These can be given out all over the world, so just head to ultrapro.com. We're also sponsored by the wonderful Elderwood Academy, who are the premium purveyors of bespoke gaming-themed gear, including hex chest dice boxes, spellbook deck box, rolling trays disguised as bespoke ancient arcane tomes, and scroll and codex dice towers and rolling tray pairings. You can currently get 10% off your Elderwood purchase with the code ROLL-TOGETHER at the checkout. So find out more at Elderwood. So close.
So close.
Elderwoodacademy.com.
So close.
Wow. I even got through the deck.
You did. You did. I was like,
you nearly. There was a
You
stumble
did
but
it.
no trip.
you didn't.
In addition to our sponsors, we are supported by some amazing companies. First, we have D&D Beyond, your guide to digital D&D, and you can see everyone's character sheets on the overlay on the left-hand side of the screen. Left-hand side? Yes. We are also supported by Level Up Dice. There's a link in the chat for the Table Shakers range, which is a range of massive metal dice, which make a massive metal noise and a massive wooden dent if you're rolling on the wrong surface. But it's fine because the table deserves it. Last but by no means least, we are supported by two lovely D&D video games, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and Warriors of Waterdeep. You can see some codes at the bottom of the screen. You can type in !Idle Champions and !Warriors of Waterdeep into the Twitch chat for download links. And for Idle Champions, there's a code that you can directly enter into the game, or type !Code into the Twitch chat for a gold chest. Whereas for Warriors of Waterdeep, type !Wow Gems into the Twitch chat for a link, which you'll need to use on the mobile device on which you have the game installed to get your free gems, usually around about 80 gems, which is super handy. Yes. We are Roll Together RPG on all socials. There will be links in chat. Thank you for the moderations for the doing the things. So like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you do on other social things. I'm not social. I just sit here in the dark. A massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can find a link in the chat. So help us make our shows from just £1, $1, whatever one of your own currency is, and unlock more tiers by joining us over there on the Patreon. Our shows are also available as podcasts, so just search Roll Together RPG on your favorite podcasting app. And you may even get some bonus sound bites from the doggo, which is on your screen right now, unless you're listening on one of said podcasting apps, in which case we're hoping for a sound bite. Valid.
Just looks disgruntled now, don't you?
Silent treatment.
I'm not a performing monkey.
Trepidatious for the upcoming horror.
Yeah.
So, finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans and GNC positive, and we encourage and champion trans and GNC players and characters in our games. the DM and players may portray characters that are of different gender to their own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but acknowledge that it does happen and have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. If we miss an instance of misgendering, we are open to being corrected, so please do let us know if you think that one has been missed. And now, let the horror commence.
Dun dun dun.
Welcome back. Last time running our fantastic intro. So, the campaign so far. If you have made it this far and this is the first episode you watch, I do strongly recommend that you possibly find out what happened previously in other episodes. But
There's a YouTube link in chat.
there is a YouTube link in chat. So
There should
yes,
be mods.
more. But for the benefit of getting up to speed right now, the party all met in the street in Neverwinter, determined that they were following the same delicate voice in their heads, and managed to track it to a singular house, a house that was detached on all sides around from any other house on the street. They made their way inside by deactivating a trapped door. However, then managed to fall foul of other things in the house, such as replicating Grimishkas and, collapsing into the basement where they almost got attacked by the weird flesh balloon people. You also
Context, that sounds just awful.
That's why you need context. Go back and watch the other thing.
Noted. Let's not go out through the basement.
The weird flesh balloon people.
There might be other clues down there that I've hidden amongst them. You'll never know.
No, but you
They're
said
all anagrams.
attacked. Attacked. No, we will not. We're not
You
going
managed
that
to.
way.
Hang on. Are we assuming that we didn't just go and have a murder spree through the whole house after Eltrion's outburst of just kill it all, destroy everything, /
No, we figured that I don't think we would have, given that they infected you. So I think we would have stayed quite clear of them.
I think specifically the first floor was mentioned, so I'm giving you a pass on the first floor. On said floor. Oh, go on.
Any Grimishka that could be seen, but these things are not Grimishkas. On the other hand, we're not going to get more infected, but no, I wasn't planning on including them in. If they don't, as long as they don't replicate when we use magic, they can just do what they want and do their own thing.
Just fireball the ground floor.
Hang around in spordom. No, Chris, I'm saving my spell slots for useful things like detect thoughts.
So on the first floor, you managed to find a library with a variety of scrolls and books and other various dropped hints, and then made your way into the study where there were scrolls for unfinished spells. However, that is where you came across the gibbering mouther, which you actually saw to in fairly short order. Probably could have thrown 2 or 3 at you. Oh well.
There's time.
Still time. You managed to also find a side room with a what you have identified as the failed experiment, the homunculus, singular homunculus, who is begarbed in a variety of mismatching pieces of armor, particularly around their kind of thicker limbs, seem to be wearing what other people would wear on their torsos, just to give an idea of size. Still medium, but
So the homunculus is a thick boy, is what we're saying.
yes.
Cool.
Definitely bringing milkshake to the yard or something along those lines.
John's given me some food for thought, with Juliet's desire to see under the helmet. I have a suspicion as to whom it might be.
Well, if it's a thick boy, it's probably Thanos.
Yeah.
Famously thick boy.
It's a himbo unculus.
Himbanculus. And those groan emojis in chat. You also you found a door that was leaking water, and you managed to open it through shape water and various other methods, and found that it was a wall of water that was not obeying the same orientation of gravity that you were. Murine swam in, managed to find another trapped window, had a massive thunk and a zap, also.
We don't talk about that in public, Sean.
And also found a circle of runes, which last Murine was left was just forming a kind of little rope ladder sort of thing with pitons and rope for the others to manage to ascend through the water to get to it. Meanwhile, Eltrion and Juliet were going on their murder spree of Grimishkas. You have your hand raised.
I thought of something after the last session, and it stuck with me, and I want to check something with you. Were the reason that there were water droplets running down the outside of the door, when the inside of the door, the water, gravitationally speaking, thought it was the top, was that because of condensation? Because there would have to be space between the door and the water, and would it therefore condense onto the door, change gravity, and then condense off the front?
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
I had a really nice moment of this thing, like that makes so much sense to me. Like that would actually happen, but you're just going, yeah, hand wave.
Any theoretical physicist PhDs in the chat can give us the skinny on this.
Because it would condense up. It would.
It's all quantum mechanics.
That's not what quantum mechanics means.
I mean, it was kind of in my head. It was like the water's kind of very near the top, but it's not going to be completely still because of other things. So it would be lapping around, and anything that left the field of gravitation would drip down. Okay. But condensation most likely would be part of that. So yeah.
Just a quick question, Sean. While we went on our sort of massacre of the Grimishkas and culling, would we have come across anything that was like a big button saying this stops the water? I think we'd have been looking for anything that was less obvious than that, but just in case.
I can tell you what you do find. So yes, when last we left, you were going through and just 3-4 at a time, just getting rid of the Grimishkas before they could hinder your magic usage any further. And in so doing, you would have kind of spread out across the rest of the first floor, which you have not yet explored. So the first floor.
How long did it take them to murder Hobo all the Grimishkas?
Well, it would have helped just to say.
Yeah, would have helped. But I think you said like
half an hour?
20 minutes? Half an hour?
I said half an hour.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that half hour, can I have a more sort of careful investigate of the room, the submerged room, looking for the kind of things I can't read, Imrine in character can't read, so looking for the kind of things that I could do something with, like objects where I can start to try and work out. I mean, I'm not smart. It's more of a try and get a better sense of what this room is for. Yeah. So
at present, with the water all where it is, more or less all except for that one room at the end above your friends is submerged. So do you mean the one which contains the circle of runes, or do you mean the one that you swam through?
Oh, interesting. I would be looking around the entire submersion. I haven't got an amazing con score, but I have got gloves of climbing and swimming, so I can swim quite fast. So I'll be able to sort of dive down, take a look around, and then surface for air in the attic space, and then keep. I want to basically get a really good sense of the lie of the land here before my friends come up, because I'm not sure they're going to be able to drain the water. I think Marine hasn't really sussed that the water could be drained, and is therefore trying to make sure that everyone, including the people who are very heavy, I would know what the sort of what the issues would be, like trying to be a good scout.
Okay, give me an investigation roll.
Can it be anything else?
I mean, I believe you used the word investigate in your description.
I did.
Rather than perceive.
Can I argue?
Can I survive?
Can I argue for a survival roll to make it safe? Can I argue for a perception roll to just take a general look around? Because I'm not smart. Investigating would be a waste of time.
I will say that if your intention is more to kind of just suss out for dangers, I will allow a survival roll. Yeah.
Roll, thank you. 26.
There we go. Just out of interest, that dice roll, what would it have been if it had been the investigation?
A 16.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been so bad. But survival it is. Yeah, so with the 26, you swim down, and apart from the obvious issue of people being unable to breathe,
Sure.
Because of being submerged in water, you don't find anything that seems initially dangerous. There was the trapped window, which you had already fallen foul of.
Yeah.
But other than that, the usage seems to be more of a kind of it's like an attic space. So you've got again some other oblong shapes covered in slightly floating tarpaulin that can't quite work out which direction it's gravitationally, but more or less on the wall as you are looking at it. And yeah, just the kind of detritus that you collect over a lifetime with someone.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, heirlooms, that sort of thing. Nothing immediately valuable outside of whatever sentimental reason it was that Ivid and Jurok kept it for in the first place.
Well, none of that would interest me, so I'd be very happy to sort of leave the attic-based stuff, and the submerged room is also attic-based stuff, and then there's another room below it that has this sort of runic stuff on it, right? There's a deep dive.
Looking at the map for which our viewers at home can see, and we cannot. There is a space called the perpendicular and the periphery, which are the two that you have investigated so far. The other section, the or submerged section, because it's down as your sense of gravity would have you believe, seems to be a less occupied space. It's got this circle of runes on the northernmost wall, bottom wall as you're looking at it because gravity. But other than that, there's not too much around the space.
What's the light like in here if there's only one window and it's way over there?
It's quite. It is quite dark. You've just got the and even then that it's nighttime outside. So, but you do have dark vision, don't you?
I have dark vision. I've also got a cloud of rats swimming around me.
So yeah, you've
When
kind
did
of
it
got.
become night?
It was night when we entered.
Was it?
Yeah, it was evening when we entered.
Went into the spooky house at night.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
We made good
completely
choices.
forgot that.
It's been nighttime the whole time because it's a horror movie, damn it.
Exactly. Yeah, because the
Gargoyles came out at
gargoyles.
night.
Yep. There we go. So, and you haven't had time for a long rest to get up nice and early in the morning when it just becomes a normal house instead of a creepy one.
Don't believe you. I do not
That's
believe
no trick.
Does it?
So yeah, that's basically what you kind of see in the attic space.
And I can't
as you
do
kind
much
of
with the
dig
runes because I
down.
can't read. Yeah, okay. And there's no sort of like ominous candelabras that I could pull on or, like anything else in the room with the runic circle that would be like a sort of...
What's your passive perception?
Oh, insane. 16.
I will give this to you because I think passively as you're looking around the room, you would see it. In the very center of the circle of runes, there are kind of 5 equidistantly spaced points. They don't necessarily look deliberately placed, but more, I guess, worn away.
I will poke one of them.
Okay. We'll come back to what happens after I describe for Eltron and Juliet. As you murder hobo your way through the...
I think we were being
joined them.
helped
We have
by Sebastian and Barley.
Yeah.
I like to imagine we've improvised a bird style cat toy with a magical scroll on the end that we're like tempting them in with. Like, ooh, here you come, get the magic.
We'll leave that to our viewers' imagination for the large part.
Don't forget some arrows.
I mean, I don't mind telling you, I have been rolling every time you've cast a spell, and there have been, I think, 6 swarms of Grimishka, and that's not even including the individual ones.
Oh my
so
God.
yes, you had lots. But as you're kind of making your way through the house, you are exploring the rest of the house that you had not yet seen. So you'd seen the library and you found the study. North of the library, so you've got, just looking at my map, north of the library, there is just a corridor that goes up towards a shut door on the north wall, and there is another shut door on the eastern wall. There's also a set of stairs which goes downstairs, which if you were to, while on your way murdering around the house, you would find that emerges out into the kitchen. Would either of you open the doors into the north or the east? Or any of you even?
I guess we're looking for that lab, and from what Mirren has seen, it didn't look like it was any of the rooms upstairs. So maybe I'd open one.
Just
I think the bloodlust is so strong that I like, if we leave them in one room, what's the point?
Yeah,
It's gonna keep
checking
replicating.
every room for the little cat.
But there's loads downstairs.
And we haven't been into the kitchen yet.
Well, actually, how high are these ceilings?
They're about 10 foot.
Okay.
Stab.
Yeah. So at any point in the house using magic, you would cause grimishkering.
Okay.
So,
Is Phil with us as well? Where's Phil?
Phil's kind of pottering along, not being as helpful with the Grimishka murdering, but more acting as living bait in a way.
Just stand there, Phil. Just stand there, and we'll wait for them to come.
Is Phil in any way physically adept?
I mean, depends if you want to attack Phil or not, but Phil has a stat block.
I thought we said ripped then, Chris. I was like, are we asking this question?
Is Phil hot? Yeah.
Ripped?
Is Phil hot? Yeah.
Phil's pretty
Sexy
stacked.
Phil.
I think
Thick and
you gave them a hand axe
I
last.
did, yes. My hand axe with
Yeah.
the carvings in, yeah.
I was
They
wondering
didn't
how
appear to
effective
know.
Phil is. Yeah, that's all I was asking. And also how hot he is. I mean, it's given.
Effectively quite hot. If you were to open the door on the eastern wall of this corridor, it opens out into a bedroom. There is a large, antique-looking four-poster bed. It's large enough that no one would have to make a selfish L shape. Behind the bed, there. The bed is against the eastern wall, and against the northern wall there is an alcove, within which are a number of different outfits. Most of them look fairly ceremonial, mostly kind of robes. There's one that looks particularly fancy, which has stars and moon stitched into it, that kind of thing. If you were to go into the room with the northern door, there is, this appears to be a bathroom, largely laid out with wood, but there is a antique copper bathtub, which has a faucet hanging over into it, which with two taps, a one with an H and one with a C.
Wooden bathrooms. It's just, it's a plague. They're terrible.
I turn to Phil and say, "Is this the bathtub? Which one do we turn?"
Phil shrugs.
Hot and dumb. You love them, Phil.
There is also a sink in one, like a wash basin in one corner, and a toilet in the other, but no discernible pipes. Because why would wizards need plumbing?
Where does...
So Ashley's gonna still make sure that their face is covered, and just in case, and then gingerly reaches over and turns both the hot and cold on.
Okay. The water starts running into the bathtub, which the water level starts rising, and the bathtub starts filling up. Maureen, in the room you're in, you do start to feel a kind of ebbing of the water away as you touch the worn away point very gingerly, and nothing happens.
Where's the suction coming from?
Give me perception, I think. Can be one of the rare extra to our 5 senses. This is going to be equilibrium sense, I guess.
14.
14. You don't find any drains. The water is simply going from the space in which it appears to be stored straight into the space in which it is needed.
But I can't find like where it's going. It just seems to be vanishing slowly.
Just seems to be from one into the other.
But there's no like sort of. I put my hand over a certain point of space, just oh god, and suddenly a rat hand just pulls out of the hot tap, just ah!
No, nothing quite so grim on this occasion. And anyone who is watching the water level from where the stairs are would just see the level descending until it gets to the entrance to the submerged section. The water does automatically turn itself off once the bathtub is full, but the space which has been emptied of water is actually much larger. It's only this one room which is now still underwater.
So the entire attic space is now it's just the submerged bit, the lower room, if you will.
Precisely.
If I swim to the now surface of the water, does the gravity shift as I get out of it?
No. So you are still walking on the wall. The gravity.
So up above me, my friends will now fall 35 feet-ish and up some stairs. They can probably walk up the stairs from on a weird angle, arguably, but then they've
got the rope to hold on to, right?
Yeah, but I did that around. I didn't do that all the way down here because why would you want to? I did that around to the other attic room.
Oh.
Sean, can I start climbing up and affixing pitons and redoing the rope so it goes down with a slight grumble?
down into where the rune circle is.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you would have enough rope to span this.
I've got 50 rope, yeah. I will start hammering in pitons to the floor and putting it in the walls. And yeah, there is a slight sort of under the breath, like, you swim through the water.
You think it worked? Looking at the bath.
One way to find out.
Yeah, I mean, if someone can ask him, then, sorry.
Pull the plug on the bath, see what happens? I'm just intrigued. I also want this comedy pratfall movie that I'm making in the attic to keep going.
We could always go and check.
Makes sense to me. See any more cat hyenas on the way? We know what to do.
Before we do,
could you do the sync as well? Would that just if we could do that thing that you did before, Suaski, where you pinged over?
Oh yes, that's a good point. Maroon.
Hello.
Yes. We've found a bathtub and filled it up. Has that made any change to the situation up there?
You filled a bathtub?
Yes, essentially.
Well, the whole room's now empty. How does that work?
I say to everyone else, it appears to have worked.
Oh, it's working.
Somewhat.
Right?
I look around the room thinking about how big this bathtub must be.
Yeah.
If we turn the taps back off,
oh no, they're already off.
Yeah.
Tub as it is.
Try the sink. Like
Is there a
Juliet
stopper?
said.
If the water's already gone, do we want? Fuck it, why not?
Then we can flush the loo and hopefully it all goes away.
Silently turn on the sink taps to see if anything comes out.
If you were to try either of the other sinks, the sink or the toilet, you do find that water flushes through, and the water, is working its way through the pipes, the magical space in which it's traveling. However, it's not affecting the water level in the attic. It seems that the base level is this one room is permanently submerged.
Okay.
Right, Maureen, we are on our way, I do believe. We have relieved ourselves of the Grimishka problem.
Oh, right.
Oh, do I know the hyena cat problem?
Oh, right. Okay.
Before we head back, I'm just going to head off into that corridor and just drop one of my pythons, down those stairs to the kitchen and just wait to see if anything comes to catch it. Are there any further cat hyenas downstairs?
Roll me a perception check.
It was so good, and now it's 5. 5 short of 5.
You drop it down into the depths, but you've got better dark vision than anyone, so I would say that it's more that your hearing fails you at this point. You watch the python, and it clatters to the bottom of the stairs. Nothing appears to be coming to get it or interested in finding out what it was.
One way to find out, cast a cantrip and see.
You hear, I can't.
Okay.
Job half done. Is the job not done?
I'll stop playing a tic-tac-toe with... Nah, Ted's too good at tic-tac-toe. I'll probably ask... let's see...
Mortal Kombat!
I'll ask Clarence by tic-tac-toe. Clarence is not the smartest.
Clarence.
I have a chance of winning.
Okay.
Are you all making your way upstairs?
I think we're finishing off the rest of the Grimishkas.
No, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Mm-hmm.
No, the
Okay.
ones downstairs that you've just said still there.
I figured that the half hour will be you clearing out the house. I
Okay.
don't want to spend any more time.
Okay. So what was the sneeze from? Or you just...
Oh, that
Just
was
judging
you're
us.
you're hoping not to hear.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
see.
Cool.
Yeah, Bolly's perception roll was nowhere near good enough to hear a sneeze, even if there was one.
We have established that the curse is not lifted by cat hyena blood.
You have established that.
I just
Wondering
covered
what
head
else
to
it
toe.
looks like now.
Press
in your
the digitate. Now that I can. Everybody's clean.
Yeah.
Oh
No, I definitely didn't put it on me. Sawaski made great pains to avoid any areas of blood.
Do they bleed, John?
Grimishkas?
No, not Grimishkas. These horrible flesh monster hyena things.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Like
No.
Ica.
Yeah, it's more kind of, this kind of magical goop. Yeah,
Magical goop. Excellent.
magical goop. That's much like everything else. They are weird, entirely flesh horrors.
For some reason,
Just slush puppy.
I'm imagining the ooze from the Power Rangers movie. Don't know why I'm imagining that, but I am.
Are you heading upstairs?
Yeah, we'll head
What?
back
I think
to...
so.
What is your marching order? Just out of interest, who's going first?
I think Barley would attempt to go first. This is back to the room where we were before, right? Or do you mean upstairs through where Maureen has gone?
Up to where Mureen is.
This is the bit that's been scouted, yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll take the rear.
Okay.
Can I suggest that the heaviest people go first in case they fall?
Fall
But
from what?
none of us can catch them.
No, but that way the heaviest person doesn't land on someone else.
John, you would catch me, right?
I can go last, it's fine.
Got you there.
So Eltron last as
Eltron will float.
Yeah.
with that new information. Is Juliet going anywhere closer to the front, or?
Yeah, I was more taking the rear through the house just in case anything popped out. But when we get to the next challenge, how does Phil look like he weighs more than I do with all my plate armor? Because I'm only 5'2".
I think Phil probably does weigh the most. Yeah, probably even vying Barley.
Phil's presumably used to navigating this particular.
How would Phil deal with it if there's no water there?
Phil is enchanted with Featherfall. Featherfill.
I'm going to climb halfway up one of the walls that is on the opposite side of the house from the stairwell in case people do fall and hit the deck so I don't get landed on. I collect Clarence up again, who was wandering off.
So I've currently got Barley, Juliet, Swaski, Eltrion. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Barley, you are heading first down this space. You do know that there's some weird gravitational stuff, so I will let you make this check with advantage, but I would like a dexterity check, acrobatics if you wish.
Got you. Okay. Sure. Let's do that. 17 on the advantage roll.
17. Yeah, that's enough. That as you're you start ascending these stairs, but there comes a point somewhere in the middle where you suddenly feel like you need to start leaning back in order to prevent yourself from kind of slipping. And there's one step in particular that just as you step over it, you realize that kind of the edge of it is down, like at the very corner. And then from that point on, you're actually stepping on the sides of the steps as you would have understood it. And you are walking down into this weird attic space.
So yeah, on that step, I'll get one more of my Python pitons and just try and tack it into that step to let the others know that is a step where you have to start shifting your body weight.
Can you give me a strength check, athletics if you wish?
Sure, -1. Come on, -1. 15. I rolled 15. Well. This is good.
Okay. Yeah, 15 is enough. You kind of put it in a kind of angle to indicate that where the gravity is and carry on. I will say that everyone else may make their check with advantage as well.
Right.
Am I apparent? Is it apparent that there's going to be some element of strength or athletics involved here?
My midriff was very taut during this point. I was.
Barley's midriff.
Like before I get to that point, I can ascertain that it's going to involve some exertion.
I would say it's the sort of thing where if you know it's coming, you can take a bit more time and care over it, so you don't necessarily.
But it is clear that I am going to have to use some strength at some point.
Maybe.
D&D.
Would
I
you like
kind of need a yes
some
or no
help
here,
with
Sean.
Are you asking me whether you should use your magic item?
Well, I'm asking whether it would be apparent that my magical item would be useful.
I would say no.
Okay.
I think this should be something that you could do on your own, and also you're going last, so there are plenty of people who could potentially catch you.
I could just sort of like hook in with my hand and zip line down because I don't have to worry about friction burns.
So I rolled with advantage a 2 and a 1.
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah, Juliet sees the python, and you almost overcompensate trying to do this, and you end up trying to put more of your weight on the side than actually was necessary at this point. And Juliet slips down the stairs for the rest of the way. You will take...
Would I be able to turn around very quickly to try and catch Juliet?
I will say that Juliet is going to land and take a little bit of damage from the kind of awkward fall. If you wish to try and save her, I will allow you a dexterity save and let you take half the damage for her instead.
Okay.
On a success.
Okay, but that's +3 with your aura, right?
Yep, if it's a saving
That's
throw.
a saving throw.
As
Okay.
I'm falling towards you.
Sure. Okay. Fine. We'll give that a go. That's an 8, 9, 10, 11.
11.
Are you one of the ASMR that has wings, John?
Yep.
Finally established on
space to unfold.
session 4. Yeah, I'd say that's not quite enough to catch Juliet, but you are being kind of crashed into. So you are going to take 2 each from this tangle of legs, and everyone can kind of see. You've seen how to do it right. You've seen how to do it less right, and they can clear the way for Swaski. You're next.
As they both
don't do what I did to Swaski.
As they both fall into the wall/ground next to where I'm hanging on the wall, just lean over and go, "You right?"
Yeah, I'll be right.
Winded.
Yeah. So acrobatics, yes.
Yes, acrobatics to maintain your balance in this weird space.
Ooh. Okay. I thought that was a nat 1. It's not. It's a 7 + 1, which is an 8, which is not good, but it's not as bad.
Okay. I think on an 8, you kind of do a similar stumbling thing, but you manage to catch yourself, and you do that kind of awkward hopping where you are stopping yourself from falling and trying not to crash into the pile of warlock and paladin at the floor. But yeah, you won't take any damage on an 8.
That campaign now. It's that type of campaign.
Yeah. I fully imagined that what happened with Barley and Juliet is that Barley was like all set up to catch Juliet, and Juliet lands in Barley's arms and Barley's legs buckle, and then they all just collapse down. Yeah.
The acrobatics with advantage was a 24.
Oh,
Nice.
I didn't roll with advantage.
Just a little sort of flip down next to everyone, and you're right there.
Ooh.
I mean, Swaski got to the bottom anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a 24, you said, wasn't it? Yeah, 24, easy peasy. You shift your weight, your weight, which is fairly inconsiderable anyway. There are more dangerous stepping stones in Menza Beranzan than this sort of thing. Okay, you are now all in the loft space. Phil has joined you as well and is adept enough, used enough to using these stairs to mitigate it.
There are some strange things going on in this house. I think it might be quite a wise thing to use the spell scroll that we found before that I can potentially use so that we can communicate with each other if we end up in some weird alternative dimension or things of that nature. What do you say?
We already are, aren't we?
Oh, that's something slightly different. I have the ability to... you mean...
I think that if all of us are connected to each other, then if something strange is going on, it makes it easier for us to understand exactly what the situation is and communicate with Phil as well. Even if, no offense to you, Phil, it's not, the only response we get is a slightly camp ooh.
It's a lovely ooh, Phil. You keep doing it.
Well, let's try and do it then. I have some spells that might help us with scouting. What I've realised here, team, is a little bit of an exploit. Or not an exploit, a clever way of understanding things. So with telepathic bond, if this works, we'll all be able to talk to each other. I can twin spell gaseous form for the purposes of scouting, which means you can't really be affected by things. Gaseous form, you can't talk, but you can think, and if you can think, then you can communicate. So
I've been saving it, but I've got a gaseous form get out of jail free card. I have one of them.
Fair.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a nice little potential use. Which Eltron would be like, this is the reason why I think it's a good idea, because, if we need to scout, I know Murine's good at scouting, and potentially somebody else is as well.
Well, I think this is the roof. There's no stairs going up. And from, the house below, there, point to the wall, there's only, one bit we haven't looked in, and it's that bit.
Right enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we need to do much scouting anymore. We get past that thing, and then that's it. It's probably what did you say it was? A lab? It's probably a lab behind there. I don't know what a laboratory is.
I am, unless anybody stops me, going to try and cast telepathic bond on everybody, including Phil.
And this was the one spell scroll that you had that you could use, wasn't it?
Yeah. What do I need to roll for it, Sean?
So, you will use your spell casting modifier. So, as a sorcerer, charisma, you need to roll an Arcana check with a DC equal to 10 plus the spell's level, and I believe the spell is level 5.
Okay. So this. To be clear, this is an Arcana check plus my Arcana bonus plus my spellcasting bonus.
Interesting, because it does say. No, I think
it's just your Arcana bonus.
Yeah, it might just be your Arcana bonus. I'm misreading this because it was using an example of a wizard spell.
Okay, so it's not linked to my spellcasting actual ability.
No, I thought it would be, but no.
It would make sense if it was, but okay.
See what you
all right.
roll.
DC 15. Great start. I'm going to use a sorcery point to re-roll that because it counts as a skill chuck. 2 nat ones in a row.
No.
The statistical improbability of that is such that I believe the game doesn't want it to happen.
The scroll's also gone.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd be honest with you, I didn't think it would go that badly.
Damn.
That's quite impressive.
Doing the scroll.
I actually just ripped the scroll as I tried to get it out of my bag.
Hang on, I'm just looking.
Most strong thing you did all day.
No.
Sorry, I think I may have got it wrong.
Nobody wanted to help, give some advantage.
I mean, thing is, a natural one is
It's a nat one. I don't think adding his charisma is going to suddenly make that
No,
not a
no.
disaster.
No, the only thing that would have saved it would have been advantage, but I've already used what do you call it?
But you have the
Yeah, spell.
advantage.
Yeah. But if we've established that nat one is an automatic fail on skill checks under Sean, so
Yes.
I've literally just discovered that it's actually covered in Grimishka blood. I've used it to wipe my ass with in the bathroom. I've blown my nose into it, and then
all of the above.
Yeah, made it into a jigsaw puzzle.
Juliet is going to start thinking, Eltron, did it work? Are we telepathic now? Is it working?
Juliet hears in her mind, well, it could have gone.
I can't telepathically communicate, but I think I can because I saw you do something with the scroll.
You can speak to me. Yeah,
I'm trying really hard.
In my own head, I'm just saying to no one in particular, hello, and just seeing what happens.
Darling, can you hear me?
Don't think that works.
You're going to have to be the operator board for everyone at this point. I'm just going to put you through to Swaski.
Anybody needs to communicate telepathically, just let me know.
How do we let you know? Just
Did it not
think
work?
loudly.
Raise your hand.
Sorry.
With a camp ooh.
Yeah. Oh well. Gaseous form suddenly less useful, but it is a get out of jail free card.
So, Sean, just to confirm for me, the room that we're going into, is that the submerged room or is this a different one?
So you're currently stood just on the edge of the wall, which looks down into this pool of water. It's quite dark, but you are all able to just make out this circle of runes. And if you peer close enough, in the center, just these 5 equidistant oval shapes, which appear to have been worn away into the very center of the wall.
There you go. Don't know what it is, but there it is.
Does it bear any resemblance to the one that we saw downstairs at all? Does it?
No, this does not appear to be the circle that you found downstairs was a circle for summoning the homunculi. No, this is different, and actually the text is different. It's not in Abyssal, which is what the previous one was.
Would it be in Infernal or Giant or Elvish?
It is in Elvish.
Yeah.
So yeah, a number of you I think had Elvish.
I mean, I can understand Elvish, I can't read it.
Reading
I'll read it out loud for Maureen's benefit.
reading the runes around.
This is a door.
Welcome to the trap. Trappy trap. Elven trap.
It's an anagram for trap.
It says
You
part.
like pina coladas.
It simply says the blood of the family.
Phil.
What does it say?
It says the blood of the family.
Are you part of the family?
Phil nods.
Phil nods. Yes, for our podcast listeners.
Are you in a picture downstairs, Phil?
Sorry, I missed that one.
So, are you in a picture downstairs, Phil?
Phil shakes his head from the neck.
Juliet's going to put her hand on Phil's hand and say, "Phil, are you okay behind your helmet?"
Phil kind of turns bodily towards Juliet and just nods.
You're happier with it on,
Nods again.
because you don't have to wear it for us.
Phil shakes bodily from the base of their neck.
Okay. She pats his
Phil, would you mind awfully if we asked for a drop of your blood now?
Phil holds his hand out.
I'll make this as painless as possible, and just, I'm presuming I have some sort of vial on me, or somebody does, or anything that would.
I have a tinderbox.
Got rats.
I might
I
have
have a
something in
flask
the
of oil.
herbalism kit.
Got
And
a
a-
water skin.
Yeah,
Water skins for days.
I've got a flask.
Perfect. Just sort of take a couple of drops into the flask and be like, do y'all think we should try this on the
How? It's a
circle
liquid.
here? We may need it to pass.
Perhaps, is there anything else in the room or just this circle?
It's worth having a look, Sawaski.
There's nothing. I mean, as I looked around earlier, and there was just this thing. There's nothing else in there.
Right. Well, this
Someone
may be a
else, Phil.
doorway for the family.
How am I going to get the blood in? Like, if it's in the water, how am I going to get it on the thing?
How did you take the blood? Did you just kind of cut across their palm or like a fingertip?
Sort of a little prick on the fingertip. Yeah.
With the bleeding finger, Phil kind of jumps into the water and then looks at everyone else in a kind of beckoning kind of way.
Going after Phil.
I'm gonna have to swim. It's time. I'm popping the cap.
Okay.
Actually, to be fair, I could have done this before, and then I would have had a bottle. I'm knocking back my potion
Okay. How long does the potion last?
for an hour.
For an hour. Okay. Well,
So I'm now just gonna change my strength rather than having to do maths.
What is your strength currently?
Well, it was 4. It's now 21,
Oh,
and I'll tell you that
Popeye-esque.
once an hour's gone.
boing.
Do
down
you
the- down the
Popeye Scout?
biceps.
Is it?
Yeah, flesh grows down my arm.
Oh.
really
It
big.
was already doing that. Does it suddenly have muscles appear underneath?
Oh.
The skin's just sort of rippling, tearing, if you will. Skin on
I
skin.
will. Juliet will just. I know Marine's jumped in the water already, but I don't know what's beyond this door. If it is Jirok, I'd like to try to speak to him before we do anything more. More Grimishka, more hyena cat like that we may have done before. If everyone's all right with that,
I put my head out the water.
Absolutely.
What?
I was just saying before if we do encounter Jirok, Mr. Antoni through here, I would like the chance to try to speak to them before we do as we've done elsewhere
The
in
culling.
Nahum. Yeah, that
What?
kind of thing.
The
Well,
violence is the last
perhaps
option.
he has the cure, so it's probably worth it.
Information is an informed decision is often the best one, Juliet. I agree.
Great.
I'm not knife happy as a standard.
Is
I'm not
culling-
usually myself, but there's something in this place that it changes you a bit, and I'd be quite physically in some cases. I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, that's just awkward, isn't it? Sorry.
Is culling like killing?
Yes, but rapidly.
Okay.
But you do it instead of I.
Hey, we haven't killed anything. I mean, apart from the Uzi thing.
Oh, and the cat hyenas.
What?
They thought they would be a bit of a problem, so we eliminated the problem.
We called them.
I tried speaking to them before, and they just laughed at me. So diplomacy failed.
Oh my god.
Yes, you remember when I said the Grimishkas are no longer a problem?
That's why you took so long? Wow.
There was
Turns out
clearly
their
some
blood wasn't the
aggression that
family.
needed to be worked out.
No, you have to, whatever you want to do, it's fine.
Still
I'm not
not
gonna-
suffocating. Just it's still down there.
Phil's just bobbing. Is
Oh,
not
bless him,
actually
okay.
underneath. It's just watching and waiting for everyone
Okay,
to.
so yes, Juliet, I would happily go into the room and not do killing, and I'd recommend everyone else doesn't do killing either. Looking at all of you, kind of like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then just dive down into the water.
I've only got an hour till this potion wears off, so let's do what we're gonna do.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you through the thick neck.
Yeah, there's like proper like peck cleavage going on now.
Imagining you
Now that
like,
I've got my staff.
imagining you like the drow Bruce Banner now,
Yeah, pretty much.
big purple Hulk. Is everyone in the water now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in time for the toilets to get flushed.
As soon as as soon as everyone is in the in the water in this section, Phil swims down, and those of you who are observing will see that Phil's hand, the fingers and thumb all just space out until they are equidistant, but the hand is flat and presses it up against the worn away area. The wall within the runes glows with a kind of purplish hue, and suddenly everyone within the pool of water finds themselves being carried along the water in along the floor of a cavern in a flurry of water, which is quickly shut off by the portal closing behind you. This cavern that you can see around you, again, it's got this kind of deep purple hue to the rock, and you can see a couple of growths of crystal dotted around. Every so often there is a little alcove carved into the rock, within which are various jars, pots, urns, the like.
There's smoke on the water.
Yes, there's a little mist going on.
Has the water sort of rushed somewhere in particular, or is it more just like the effect is you've been washed out?
It's effectively you've been kind of spilled out of. Imagine being poured out of a jar and just along a space, and the
no
water
water's
kind
come
of
with
dissipates.
us. Okay.
A little bit of water's come with you, but then the portal closed after the 6 of you.
So we're just in a purple cave.
And there is a route going ahead, which after kind of dusting itself off, Phil does get up and just kind of turns to you all.
Yeah, maybe this is bigger than the house.
Are we still in the house?
Can I roll a survival
Do you
check?
think?
You may roll a survival check.
Where are we? Non-nat 20.
Non-nat 20. I mean, Murine's never been outside of the material plane. Yeah,
Never
I
been
would say.
outside of Neverwinter. Yeah.
But this space has a very distinct. You can't put your finger on it. or even any of your rat's fingers. No fingers can be put on quite what it is, but something about this place does not feel anything like where you've been before.
How big is the cavern?
The cavern that you're currently in, it's about 10, maybe 15 feet wide. It varies. It's very... It doesn't have the look of a man-made or humanoid-made, I should say, area. It kind of has wider bits, thinner bits, but it does appear to lead off away from the portal.
What's in these jars?
Do you want to investigate the jars?
Well, no.
Could I get? I can see 60 foot with my dark vision. Does this go further than 60 foot?
Yes.
Okay, so this is not, logic would dictate not in the house, because I've never been on demi-plane either. So this is what is happening.
This feels like not the house. I don't know.
I'd like to cast dancing lights on the edge of our dark vision, which is 60 foot, and then as bonus action, start moving it a further 60 foot ahead of us to see if anything shows up.
Just to confirm, I can see 120, so
Yes.
I don't know if that helps.
Is the corridor straight?
Does it veer? Yeah, does the corridor veer round, or is it
It
just
does
straight
kind of veer around
Sometimes
as Barley sees.
Yeah.
I will say, Liz, just give me a perception roll for Barley, and then obviously we'll see what everyone else sees after.
Again, it was so great, and now it's 4. So that's a 4, Sean.
I think possibly Barley was, looking at the immediate surroundings, and then
I'm looking
just
at the
about.
crystals. Yeah, those crystals are just new and shiny and pretty.
Got distracted by those lights.
And
Yeah,
just as you turned your vision towards the end of the corridor, the dancing lights came up, and you had that kind of effect of suddenly looking at a bright light
Try and
space.
grab them. Yep.
Can I take one of the urns out of one of the alcoves? Just take it out.
Yep.
Probably about as big as me, right?
They vary in size. You could find one that was a more comfortable. Yeah.
How many were there, Sean? Sorry, how many alcoves are there, and how many of these urns, these containers are there?
They are kind of sporadically placed in no particular spatial agreement as you would understand it. It's not like every 5 foot there's an urn, but it's kind of like maybe a couple of dozen that you can see in your immediate space, and they continue down.
Okay, quite a few.
Everyone, as the lights are put down, as the lights do emerge down the corridor, you can just on the edge of your vision see some sort of large apparatus, but to discern its nature, you probably need to go a bit closer.
It's dim light, so that would make perfect sense.
I'd like to offer divine sense, just particularly looking at these urns and the alcoves, but particularly the urns. Are they fiendish? Are they consecrated or desecrated? Are they undead or are they celestial?
They are none of the above.
Good to know.
And popping the top off the urn, you look in, and there is some sort of powder.
What is it?
I think I'd like another survival check. If you depends on how you're going to determine it. If you're just going to sniff it, perception.
I'm a rat. I'll smell it and then I'll taste it.
Give me a Constitution save.
Before or after the survival check? I mean, you want to both.
You tasted it, so I'm just going to ask for the
That's right,
Constitution save.
17 on the con save.
17.
20.
Oh, 20, thank you. 20 on the con save.
Nice. So with your filthy 20, you taste it. It's got even though it's a powder, it's got a metallic tinge to it. It doesn't taste particularly pleasant. There's almost a burny kind of sensation, but not a damage burny, just a tingle that you didn't particularly like.
I think why not? For comedy, if nothing else, I taste a bit, sneeze into it, and just cover myself in it.
You now have a powdered white rat.
Well,
Is it ashes, Yureen?
is it ashes, Sean? I rolled a 15 on the survival check.
I don't think that ashes would have a metallic taste to them. You
No, ashes don't taste like metal.
True.
the ashes of Warforged maybe, but this is not what those are.
So the ashes of wolf are just a melted lump.
Does anyone believe it would be pertinent for me to be able to see magic again?
Is this stuff isn't magic, is it?
I don't know. But
I would say maybe we spend a bit of time scouting, because I know it takes a bit of time.
Okay.
Time is kind of the essence, so I don't know if you can speed up the process in any way.
Trusky, I can always do that once a day as well. I've just always been able to do it,
oh right, okay.
but just once a day.
Well, I mean,
Should I go
I
ahead?
can ritual cast
Oh.
it, so it would take a little time.
Got you.
But how far away does the thing in the distance look?
I'd say it's about 80 foot.
Oh, okay, not that far.
I can go ahead if we need to, but we're pretty close. We could all go.
I'll cast detect magic as a spell. So I'll use the spell slot.
As your vision kind of adjusts to this overlay of your
urn
senses,
sneezes, and we have more urns.
these initial urns, it's a tricky one. I would say that magical components would not necessarily give off their own magical aura in of themselves unless they were, ground fairy wings or something weird like that. So the odd urn does give off a weird little glow, but just a kind of small one. These do appear to be spell components and other sort of reagents. As you peer down the corridor, you can see that this apparatus, which is moving slowly, it appears to consist of a variety of rings, concentric rings, all on their own axes, spinning around gyroscopically, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
And that is giving off a glow of transmutation. That's all you can see at the moment.
Should we go? Should we go take a look?
Yes, perhaps we should go a little further now. These look mostly like reagents, not inherently magical for the most part, but definitely that thing up ahead, it's giving off some, it's like the kind of magic that that symbolizes change.
Might be able to change it back then. That's good.
One would hope. Right. I did have a question for all of you. It's as a thing that I could do. I suppose if we do meet Duroc, should I attempt to get them on side, as it were? Like charm them a little?
Maybe if it's going badly? Like, if we
So,
turn up and Jurok goes, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, my house," or "Here you go, I'll fix you all up," then that's fine. If Jurok's up and goes, "What are you doing here, you bastards?" we're like, "Okay, right, then maybe then."
Right. Noted.
Makes sense? Makes sense.
Yes.
What have I got on me? Is it magical?
No, not this one.
Okay.
Don't know exactly what it is. But
I'm hoping if we do get to talk to Duroc, I'll be able to understand a little bit about what's in the forefront of Duroc's mind while we have that conversation.
Okay.
So we can know if it's going badly or well.
I can't help us all be sneakier again, but we should probably try and be sneaky.
Does this tunnel end where the apparatus is? Or does it seem to extend further than this? Is this the end of the tunnel, so to speak?
It does appear that there's more beyond the apparatus that you can see, but it's kind of round a corner, so you can't quite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Off we go then.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going stealthily, Murine? Or are we... I'm very big and make a lot of noise.
Okay.
Should I go slightly further ahead, like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet ahead, so that we can see what's going on and shout back if there's problems?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might try and join you just a little further back, but just in case there's anything magical you might stumble upon.
Okay.
And I can warn you.
I'm going to establish telepathic speech with Murine and just say in their mind, if it's an imminent danger, think it rather than say it.
Okay. I say in my head.
Yeah. Right then. Good luck to you all. Phil, you doing all right?
In Phil's mind,
Out loud.
out loud. Phil nods and will kind of follow along with the group.
Let's go then.
Juliet will hold his hand. Come on, Phil, love. And
Let's have a
anyone
cup of
who's,
tea.
anyone who's leaving the aura, when you're in the aura, you feel a little bit like on your favourite sunny day.
Aw.
Leave the aura. Back
Do you want to piggyback, Phil?
I only rolled a 16.
16 on your stealth.
Yeah, for a second.
Are all the
we all stealthing? Or...
7? But do I get Juliet's aura when I roll
Saving
it?
throws.
Saving throws. Not.
Oh, damn. Should have guidance myself.
10.
10.
17.
17. I missed Juliet's. Are you still
14.
rolling? 14. Okay. So, Murine heading off down the corridor first. You get closer to this apparatus, and you can see it as I described, this spinning concentric circles. It is large. It is a very large device. The innermost circle is the same sort of diameter as the Git portal that you just entered through, and then getting larger and larger. So probably kind of 15 foot square. We're talking at least. And as you go around the corner into the adjacent room, you can see that it opens out into an area. There is a rectangular slab in the center of this room, and arrayed around it on a variety of odd tables and chairs that look like they've been requisitioned from other areas of a normal household, alongside natural caverns, each one with various flasks and jars and containers of all varieties around it. On the slab, there is a humanoid figure who is dressed in quite smart clothes, who you cannot quite see the face of from where you are standing.
There's someone on a slab.
I would be following about 40 foot behind, so it would still be within the reach of my dark vision. Is there anything magical about that body?
What's the range on the detect magic? Sorry.
I think it's just as sight.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
I think it's 30 feet.
Oh, within 30 foot. So I guess I would go 30 foot within reach of that.
You'd kind of go closer. Is Murine going kind of right up, or is Swaski just kind of come up beside Murine first?
Because there was lots of like don't there was lots of like don't attack people and don't piss anyone off. So it was very much a kind of I'm just going to human. I'm just going to wait there.
Yeah, so I'd probably go out to join them and like look over.
What do you see?
What do I see?
So as you're looking at the body, one thing that you particularly see is there is an aura of abjuration magic entirely covering the in almost a dome, but kind of stretched out to cover the whole oblong space.
Learman's tiny coffin.
Completely kind of sealing off the body. And you can see again some of the jars are glowing. You can kind of see in your aura the contents of various powders. Some of them are liquids, a couple of other solids. One jar in particular, though, flashes much brighter than the rest. The aura is a bit trickier for you to pinpoint because it's a bit of a meld of different auras, but actually largely necromantic from this one jar.
I would.
You approached within 30 foot, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. But I would have been kind of, before I got close, I would have looked at the floor or around to see if there was anything magical before we got closer.
Can you please make a charisma saving throw?
Me or Swaski or both?
Swaski initially.
Okay.
Are you in Juliet's range?
No, I don't think so.
It's ahead.
Yeah, that's a 15.
15. 15 is not enough.
Oh no.
What's that?
You, from your perspective, are looking around with your detect magic senses up. One moment, and then the next moment, you appear to be sitting on a table facing a much larger body on a tabletop and surrounded by lots of containers and jars and such. And your body is off to one side and approaching the body, and that is where we will take our break.
Fucking magic jar.
Fudge.
So, as we have been doing the last couple of sessions, I have got yet another anagram for you.
Yay!
You'll be glad to know it is not the words "the blood is the family" or whatever it was that I said. It is from the last book that was found in session 2, and this is from the book "Ethical Enchantments: The Myths, Morals, and Misunderstandings of Mind Manipulation" by Dern Riger. Dern is spelled D-H-E-R-N-R-I-G-E-R. That is D-H-E-R-N-R-I-G-E-R. And I realised that our session last week, I actually forgot to give you a hint, which might be why none of our players in the room got either of our anagrams. But the hint for this one is there's something a little bit fishy about this situation. And we'll get back to what that means after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. When last we left you, actually, let's do the anagram first. So Lola, you managed to get this very swiftly. What's our word for today?
Red herring, I hope.
Red herring. Yes. Possibly one of my easier hints. I think maybe it could have gone elsewhere, but I did not. So yes, you now have an.
I'm just counting it as a win because I am terrible at anagrams. So
you're also trapped in a jar.
Yeah, that too.
Trapped in a jar.
I need every win I can get.
It does mean that you've now got a D8 inspiration dice that you can nominate to give to someone else or roll yourself, whichever of these things you want to do.
Give it to anyone who can rescue me. No, I'm joking. Or attempting to. Right.
So when last we left the party, you were stealthing, possibly not as stealthily as you may have wished, around the corner, and you saw the large apparatus which was spinning around various axes. You found the body laying on a slab covered in abjurational energy, and many, many jars, one of which Swaski is currently residing. Murine, you were stood next to Swaski when this happened. And from your point of view, you don't notice any real change. You do notice that Swaski has suddenly just abandoned all pretense of sneaking up on anything, has approached the desk and started rifling through the various jars and reagents, and is pouring them together in some sort of weird compound.
Swaski, what are you doing?
You don't get an answer. After a little bit of futzing around with the various bits and bobs, a glowing potion has been crafted. Swaski then turns around, places their hand out into nothing, for you cannot see the force field, and very quickly pours this elixir that they've just made onto the body, onto their eyelids, onto their nose, and onto their fingertips.
Don't let them make it permanent. Remember that spell.
Swaski, where are you? I'm getting my message in my mind. I'm going to go to Eltrion. Swaski's behaving weird.
So just to everybody around me, I think we got problems, and starting to make my way, picking up the pace to close in, and in Murine's head saying to them, weird how?
Well, they mixed a potion that they mixed a potion and are now pouring it over a body on a, I don't know.
Does that mean anything to me, Sean?
Give me an insight roll.
Well, that is my third natural one in a row.
You have not the foggiest chances of.
How do I retire digital dice?
Swap them out. You can swap out dice sets.
Yeah, I'm gonna swap them out. That's.
Are you using? Hang on. You're using my Beyond. Don't swap out my dice set.
No, this is my Beyond.
Okay.
This is the. Well, I just know something's up, but I don't know what it is. So it's still time to close in.
Is Murine going closer to the body, to where Swaski appears to be, performing science?
I think I'm going to walk over to Swaski and tug at those very, very long sleeves and just like, Swaski, what are you doing?
You just get a patience.
Does it sound like Swaski?
It's using Swaski's voice, vocal cords.
Can I roll? Are they trying to pretend to be Swaski?
It's going to be insight. I think. By the way,
I don't want to actively roll this because Murine's not the. I've got a passive of 13. That's all I'm going to roll with here. Active rolling feels a bit like I know what's going on, but I don't want to do that. Okay.
Passively, this person is not acting the same as Swaski had up to this point. So you kind of get the gist that Swaski hasn't been that short with you at this point.
I'm gonna Okay. I'm going to tug quite hard on the sleeve and start, like, no, here, like, drawing focus and attention. What's going on? I will interrupt this person, whatever they're doing, I'm interrupting it.
Please don't worry. I will return your friend's body shortly enough. Please look at the fingernails. And they hold up Jurok's hand, and you can tell that it's Jurok at this point from where you are standing. And you can see that Jurok's fingernails are slowly re-emerging and returning to a usual state. And if you looked closely at the face, where Swaski had poured this elixir over the eyelids, over the nose, a little bit over the mouth, you can see that the eyelids had been completely grown over. You could just about see where they were because of the disrupted flesh around the eyebrows, but the eyes around the body are. You can see that the eyelids are returning to
gotcha.
to normal.
Are you this person? Point at the body.
Yes, that's me. I believe that this is kind of turns to look at you properly, and I imagine Swaski's detect magic is still up. Kind of goes, looking at you and realizing that you've got a bit of this. Okay, and will kind of gingerly put Swaski's fingers, so their fingers, underneath your chin, holds the elixir, says, "May I?"
Yeah.
We'll pour a droplet onto each of your eyes. It's like getting a kind of eye drop, but it doesn't actually matter whether it goes on the eyelids because it's trying to get to the flesh. And then over your nostrils, you kind of snort a bit of this liquid a little bit, and then on your mouth as well, on each of your kind of fingernails. The areas that are kind of most imminently affected, although it does appear to be kind of helping in other areas. You're not going to have to sit in this, for example. But like the most imminent areas.
Go into a corner.
Helping. Squat over a
Does that
tray.
have to happen to all of your rats as well?
Yep.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Your little feet.
Quick, ring around the arse, will you?
I wasn't going to go there.
Welcome.
Swaski's body looks back over at Jurok's body, determines that enough time has passed, and just says to Murine, I will be back with you in just a second.
Am I now not cursed anymore?
Or
because I've got friends who are cursed as well who are coming.
Before they have a chance to kind of answer you, they've given you the elixir, and you're kind of currently holding it. Swaski, your consciousness returns to your body, and then a second later, Jurok sits up on the slab.
What the fuck?
We were running from, like, not that far away. Have we witnessed any of this?
I would say that you're kind of coming up on the tag end of this kind of conversation. Swaski, you're returning, and
Swaski kind of stumbles a little, like, disoriented because they were just like in a jar. I'm like, and points at the body, and then
I'm terribly sorry about that. If there were any other way, I assure you I would have taken it.
I'm going to hand the flask to Barley and go, here you go. No more curses.
I'm going to begin to try and drink it.
I don't stop you.
No, I would just administer it. I mean, it won't do any harm, but it's much swifter if you apply it directly to the areas. Your eyes, your nose, your mouth.
I'll start to do that. And
The swole half drow will patiently wait its turn.
I'll pass it round to whoever needs it.
There was various pointing to other orifices for anyone on the podcast.
I wasn't quite sure how to verbalise that specifically. I may have alluded to something.
I may have licked a finger.
Orifice-esque.
It's quite a jarring experience.
Yeah.
As and kind of seeing that you've obviously brought your swarm with you, Jurok kind of starts pottering around a little bit more sedately because they don't have the imminency of trying to kill themselves before they suffocate to death. He uses him. Starts creating a little bit more so that you can kind of production line the rats.
I don't know.
Get them treading through.
Because the rats are a magical effect doesn't really matter, but also if I give one of the rats a bit of it and say go and do all the others, they can all go and do each other. So they're just sort of a swarm of rats doing a self-cleaning rat centipede.
While kind of this is going on, you can talk to Jurok as well. I can only thank you for venturing here.
Okay, what happened?
Cast Detect Thoughts on Jurok. I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to do it without verbal or somatic, so there's no trace of the fact that I actually cast it. If I don't try and probe any deeper than surface level, then he won't be aware that the spell is in so I'm literally just trying to pick up on the surface thoughts based on what questions we get.
Do you get that without a save, or is there a save?
Yeah,
to start with?
Yeah, that's for surface thoughts only. There's no save.
Okay,
It's literally just whatever's top of mind.
Surface thoughts you get are relief, and also a kind of sense of impatience. You get the sense that Jurok was possibly preserving himself in this manner for a number of days, perhaps even 10 days. And Jurok continues and says, I send Fail, indicates the homunculus that you have already dubbed Fel. I send Fail out to try and find someone who might be able to get to me without contracting this abominable disease. I don't know how long I've been in that state. It seems to have been quite a long while.
Where'd it come from?
How much of the house have you seen?
Most of it.
I imagine you were expecting to find 2 people up here.
Swarovski is still glaring daggers at them. It's like, we kind of figured that there was only one to be found.
Eltrion is only just focusing on the thoughts to see, with each question that's asked, where they spring to.
Mm-hmm.
Mireen hadn't put any of that together.
Oh. You see, I lost my beloved, my husband. He left, and I'm afraid I've spent quite a long time just trying to get him back. I tried all sorts of arcane tricks of the trade, everything that I could find in every library that I could access. But
so, hold on. He passed, or he left you, and you're trying to bring him back through arcane means?
He isn't dead. I can tell you that much. He just left. He gone.
Went to the shops and didn't come back?
Well, as best I could determine, he left this plane. Not this plane. This is not the plane that you would have previously been on. This is my own making. No. I managed to pinpoint him to the outer planes, and I've been trying my best to recover him and to try and bring him back into a new body. And unfortunately, again, glances over at Fail. It's not always gone according to plan, and I'm sad to say that sometimes these experiments went horrifically awry. And I don't know if I caused it, if I brought something through from God's nowhere. But no, I think this one's on me. It followed me or one of my experiments through.
Speaking plainly now, will this elixir cure the exploding sacks of spores in the basement? And were you aware that innocent people were being effectively forced to come into this house and meeting a horrible fate worse than death?
He looks, when you kind of say, that people have died and all of this, I'd say if you give me an insight roll.
What's he thinking, Sean?
He is appalled. He wasn't aware of the extent that this trouble may have spread.
No problem. Do you want the insight?
Only if you want to determine whether he's truthfully feeling guilty about it.
Yeah, can I have it with advantage, given that I am actively reading his thoughts?
Oh, go on then. Flat roll for everyone else.
14 for me. I'm interested in that.
Okay.
So Aski's still pissed.
Barely following this.
Hey, guess what? My first roll was another nat 1.
Oh my God, Dave.
It's fine.
I've inherited George's dice. It's just 13 was the best you got.
So 13,
10.
14.
Is that plus Juliet?
14 was
Saving throws.
Saving throws. Sorry,
Yeah, it's not
I
tough.
keep
Oh, yeah,
forgetting.
Was Barley rolling?
Barley was not rolling. Barley is wondering who's actually in Fail.
I'm gonna magic sorceress guidance or whatever it's called. Just to roll again because I'd quite like to have an answer.
Magical guidance.
Yeah, magical guidance 16. Of course, we do have random general other guidance knocking around on occasions.
Yep.
So that's a 16, Sean.
16. Okay, so 16, 14, same sort of ballpark. You both get the feeling that Jurok is genuinely quite distraught about the news. He understood that probably a few people that Fail would have attempted to bring to him may have succumbed to this disease, but certainly not to the kind of degree that you've indicated. He also doesn't really, and you get this from the surface thoughts, doesn't really know what you mean when you're kind of talking about inflated people, because the extent of what
that far for him.
Yeah, he's been stuck in a jar, just looking at his own body in this kind of suspended state. All he knew is that his eyes and various orifices were going to close over. Anything more than that is pure news to him.
We could try this. Can you make more of this elixir? We can try it on the people downstairs who didn't make it.
My friend, I was beginning to suffocate just in the state that I was in. Could just about get the words out to protect myself and transport myself into the container. I honestly have to say that if anybody has fully succumbed and healed over entirely, the chances are fairly low for them.
There was no intelligent thoughts in the mind.
It doesn't surprise me a jot, I'm afraid.
Speaking of thoughts, was it your thoughts we heard or Fel's?
Eltron will get this from the detect thoughts. He has no idea what you're talking about. Sorry.
Something was calling us to this house, a voice saying, help me, essentially. And it was getting louder, drawing people here. I believe Fel never really left. we found them like hidden in a room off the study of yours.
So I've just rolled, and I've spent a crit on Jurok understanding what you mean, and you. And again, Eltron will kind of pick up on this slightly more visually because of the detect thoughts. It suddenly gets a kind of flash of inspiration. It says, there are apparati in the basement which aided me in coming to this place. I'm afraid I'm not from around here. You might have gathered. It could be a side effect of the. I was looking for a point, and he's kind of flitting about, and you, Eltrion, you're kind of following this train of thought which is jumping around. I managed to pinpoint a place which was thin enough where the weave and the joints between worlds was thin enough that I might be able to make contact. But I had to create this apparati which took me here, and I don't know. It's my educated guess, mind you, that perhaps that is a side effect of amplifying the signal, the space at which I've managed to pinpoint. Do you follow?
Can I roll to follow?
In character, there is no chance.
Insight. Actually, I got you to roll some insight rolls. So
I mean, I've got a passive insight of 17.
Okay.
Rolling is a 9, but like, if
I'll allow passives if they're higher than your actives. Then I'll allow it.
I rolled another nat 1.
oof.
Change your dice.
I'll change them again.
Dirty 20 here.
Yeah.
Okay. You gather from what Jurok is saying that this house is not physically from where it is currently resting. He's transported it here through some magical means, homing in on a point in time and space which he believes is the best bet he will have at recovering Ivid. And that some sort of side effect of the devices that he's created to aid in this this quest may be having a secondary effect of broadcasting voices to the kind of localized area.
You know that you have probably created a curse that's affecting the whole of Neverwinter, or starting to.
What? What makes you say that?
Well, it would seem to stretch the grounds of credulity that strange demonic creatures would be erupting from people at the time when there's a house where people are starting to erupt strangely. Perhaps it's all a coincidence, but for my money, I can't see what else it could be related to.
He seems dumbfounded, and surface thoughts you're picking up are again kind of guilt, but also resolve. You get the sense that he would kind of pay any price to try and recover his husband. My humblest apologies for any misadventure that this has caused. It's certainly was not my intention.
And
Intentions are very
mine. Sorry, go on.
Intention is very important, but what matters as well is action. And now that you understand what you are causing in this city, what are you going to do?
If this next experiment is a failure, then I will be more cautious in my approach.
Could you not make more of this elixir and give it to all the people?
Certainly, I can provide the ingredients, and starts to kind of jot down. There's some scroll paper and quills and ink nearby and starts to kind of jot down exactly what would be needed to manufacture this on a greater scale should it need to be rolled out to the whole of Neverwinter and beyond.
Jurok,
Yes, my dear. It's all right. Didn't catch your names.
Juliet. And
Juliet.
These are my companions. And Juliet gestures for the rest of the party to introduce themselves.
Hello.
Suaski's still salty.
In Sawaski's mind, they hear Eltrian's voice saying, I think this might be starting to go badly.
So if no one's introduced themselves, that's Sawaski, Eltrian, Marine, and this is Barley.
It's a good thing names don't have power now.
What?
In her mind, Juliet hears powerful wizard, names bad.
I don't know nothing about that, love.
Are they going to face justice or not?
They'll face redemption if they need to. Anyway, so Ivid Jurok, he left of his free will.
I mean, woolly phrases, isn't it? Free will. I mean,
It's not.
Ivid's speciality was divination. Ivid would frequently just, look into the futures that may hold for us, and I don't know, it's my guess that he saw something that he decided needed, I don't know.
Running away from? Did he want to run away from a future that could have happened maybe with you? Maybe hurting people?
I mean, I can't see what could possibly be so bad that we couldn't face it together,
This?
Europe seem entirely stable.
Suaski is thinking back to Eltrian in my head. It's like I'm not sure that any attempt that I make will succeed. They seem to be much stronger in the same capacity as I am.
And back they hear, I have two questions. How do we get home, and how do we stop him from continuing? Because this curse is only the worst thing that's happened so far.
Correct.
Durok.
Yes.
Now that we have successfully lifted the curse upon you, how would we get back to where we're from? To our plane?
Oh, well, I can let you out, or Fael can let you out. It simply requires the right kind of thinks how to phrase genetics, I imagine, or the
And of the house?
You wish to leave the house?
Well, obviously, when we wish to go home, we would need to leave both this plane and the house, which seems to have the nature of keeping one in.
Well, how did you get in?
Some of us are skilled enough to bypass some of your enchantments.
It's a very lovely porch. It was very cozy.
Thank you very much, my dear. Barley. Well, you do the same. Or I mean, if it's an issue, I can shut them down myself.
That would be preferable.
Would be so kind as to do it now?
I mean, we're on the cusp of it. What's everyone's passive perceptions?
17.
17?
11.
11.
I think Murine and Swaski, you've got the highest. During this conversation, out of the corner of your eye, you notice that the gyroscope that has been slowly at first turning on its axes has been slowly gaining speed, spinning faster and faster. And Durok kind of indicates, and everyone else can look over and see that the device is now spinning so fast that the innermost circles are completely blurred to the point that they appear to be a solid surface. And there is a crackling lightning beginning in the center, which opens out, beyond which you can see a scene of an arid desert, however, almost inverted in colors. The sand of this desert is purple. The sky that you can see is a sickly kind of green, and there are odd moons, planetoids, hanging a very low orbit in a variety of different, again, kind of sickly greens and browns. As the gate opens, you can hear a delicate voice singing. It's just kind of singing la 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 la. And crusting one of the dunes, you can see a figure walking towards you. It appears to be humanoid at first, this silhouetted figure. But as it gets closer to you, you notice that what you had at first thought were its normal hind legs are in fact its front legs. It is actually quadrupedal as it approaches. And you can see that the creature's head has lank black hair hanging down over its face, which as you try to focus on it is blurred and refuses to be recognized in any kind of humanoid configuration.
What's going on?
So is there any way to stop this?
Yeah, how far away is this figure from the entrance of the portal? As we all gasp it in horror.
It is slowly coming towards the portal, and as it comes closer, you can see that it is as big as the gate itself, being 10 foot kind of across. Durok at this point has gone towards this creature, and you hear him say, "My love, you have returned." Sands are spilling out into the room at the floor of this cavern, and the creature approaches Durok.
Can I cast Suggestion on Durok?
You may roll initiative to see whether you act quicker than this creature.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I mean, Lola knows what this creature is because you have brought this creature into a game of ours before. 19.
Sean, I think it's fair to say that I'm surprised. So, do you want me to roll initiative, or do you want me to I mean,
I think the initiative roll is kind of at this point to say how quickly you can snap yourself out of the horror. So I'm happy for you to just roll it as normal. An 8.
Yeah, it's Paul.
19.
9.
18.
16. When the singing started, I thought it was a Furby, and then it was not a Furby. It was so much more horrifying.
It was a word.
La, 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 la.
Bless you.
Sorry, Liz. I too much time.
16.
Too many seconds have passed. 16.
16.
Okay, and where is this creature's? Excellent.
What this thing is?
Its stats are in hell.
Give me 1 second, and we are nearly there. Okay. So, Lola, Suaski does manage to get an action before this creature. So what is it you wanted to do with your suggestion?
I'm trying to. So, I suggest you turn it off. That's not your husband.
Okay. And the exact wording on suggestion is
you make a words.
Wisdom.
You suggest a course of activity limited to a sentence or two and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. Suggested must be worded in such a manner as to make the course of action sound reasonable. Asking the creature to stab itself or itself, blah, 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 kill itself, harm itself, not a good idea, not going to work. Target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So Jurok has advantage on saving throws against spells. And
let me just double check my DC.
Which was it? Was it wisdom?
Yeah.
That is non-natural 20. Jurok is too enraptured with this this creature that is slowly advancing and emerging from the gate. You can see that, for all intents and purposes, it appears to be human-like in its skin tone and but not the skeleton that it is framed around, which appears to be much more bovine almost, but very lanky legs. Okay, Eltron, you also get a turn before this creature takes it.
How close is everyone else in the party to the portal and the wizard?
The portal is about 30, 40 foot away from the area with the laboratory in it. So I'd say that you were all kind of stood around in a rough circle. I'm going to say that you can be kind of as close or as far from it as you think you would have been while having this conversation. Jurok has advanced to close enough to the portal, and the creature is slowly emerging from it.
Cool. As a free action, we're seeing that this creature is basically a horrific non-man-shaped thing, and the wizard is like, hello, my love. I just, as a free action, want to glance around at the party and basically trying to get an idea of, should I be aggressive here? Is this like...
Utterly dumbfounded. I didn't understand the conversation that led into this, and now I don't know what's going on at all.
Has diplomacy ended is
Like-
the basic kind of...
Suaski is fully looking horrified at it. This is why they were like, stop this. They have
Right.
no clue what it is, but it's like, it's horrifying.
In which case...
You hear Juliet mutter under her breath, this is why people need to learn that no means no. Need to deal with rejection.
You're not wrong there, Julia. So between us, between the us and the wizard and the creature and the other portal, I'm going to open a gateway to the dark between the stars, a region infested with unknown horrors. A 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold appears, centered on a point within range and lasting for the duration of up to 1 minute. The void is filled with a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises that can be heard up to 30 feet away. Lone light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area, but barely can see through it. And creatures fully within the area are blinded. The void creates a warp in the fabric of space, and the area is difficult terrain. Any creature that starts its turn in the area takes 2d6 cold damage. Any creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 acid damage as milky, otherworldly tentacles rub against it. Hunger of Hadar, winning its way to you. And I will also attempt to psionically push the mage closer to the creature because, hey, if they're aggressive with each other, that's gonna help us out big times.
So just to clarify, okay. This dude doesn't know what he did. He's now wandered off towards a portal where something that looks like a humanoid cow-ish with no face has...
Long, blank
If its face was all blurry.
like a ringed cow.
Like a ring cow, thank you.
Ring cow.
Has approached, he's gone, my love, it's you, we've all gone, that's not your love. Some people have gone, that's not your love. And I've gone, I couldn't tell you if it was. And now a random portal of darkness has torn its way in the midst of all of this. And there's weird whispering and cosmic slurping. Maureen has no idea what is going on by any stretch. I'm going to spend my turns there going,
The bonus action shove would occur before the casting of the spell, because I know I would need to be able to see them. So if Wizard can make a strength save against the psionic shove. There you go. There's your love.
An 8.
Cool. So they're pushed 5 feet away from me, and I've positioned myself so that away from me is towards the door. And I think that'll do.
just for my benefit, how big is the area affected by the
20-foot sphere centered on a point within range? So the midpoint would be as close to them as I can get it. The range on it is 120 feet, and the only one of us that can see through it up to the horrible tentacly void is Barley. So enjoy those nightmares.
Unfazed.
Milky acid tentacles.
Yeah,
just kind of slap against people.
That is a D6. Yeah, oh yeah, it's when their turn starts. So it'd be D6 cold, 2d6 cold damage.
Okay.
And it's difficult terrain.
Difficult terrain. Horrible slurpiness. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just describe this for Barley. Because you're the one who can mainly see this. You see this area of magical darkness, but which you can, with your devilish sight, see through. However, in an area in front of the creature that is emerging from this gateway, it's kind of like looking through and if you were to put a prism into an area of inky blackness, there is a space in front of the creature which is not dark. It seems to be emanating from the creature's face and extending out 60 feet from it. So the darkness is kind of around the back of the creature, not towards the front.
If I may, I don't know if it's my turn yet, but for my free action, I would vocalize that possibly to Eltrion. The creature, it seems to look at the darkness and dispel it. It doesn't appear affected by that magic.
It's the old aura of bullshit.
Correct, Eltrion. Yes, that's very correct.
Is it an anti-magic cone, Sean? It must be.
An anti-magic cone. And I haven't.
What is this thing? I've never even heard of it.
I have not adapted this stat block at all.
What's it from?
Your nightmares.
It's horrible.
Mythic
I have been
Odysseys of
killed by
Theros.
this.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Well,
Magic
one
monsters.
of my
Okay.
characters has been killed by this.
Better get me crossbow already.
Are we in the 60-foot cone, just to check?
No, not presently. It is focused its attention on Jurok and Barley. It is your turn.
Okay. How far away is Barley from the two creatures?
Somewhere in the region of 30 to 40 feet, whichever you kind of prefer.
Oh, I can't get to them, can I?
30 feet, you could.
To get
Is
to
it
them,
the
you'd have to
ground?
go into the...
Oh, I don't have to, because
You
it's
could go
anti-magic,
round.
so that's not difficult terrain, because that spell creates difficult terrain. But if that cone is not, fine.
Yeah, difficult terrain outside the cone.
Yeah.
Difficult situation inside the cone.
Mhm.
Got you.
So
cool,
there's a
okay.
tear in reality with like a wedge cut out.
Well, sand
Little
wedge.
dirty slice. Does it look like the creature is going to attack the wizard?
I'm not sure what ability it would be to determine the
The
intents
intention.
of an aberration. It's a big, horrible-looking creature.
Yeah.
Your gut instinct is no.
Just bringing tea and biscuits.
Here you go, my lord, indubitably. And then walk away.
bark-like raspy voice in your head just goes,
Macaroon.
"Oh shit!"
That's what? Sorry.
A kind of a bark-like raspy voice that sounds like the creaking of forests just goes, "Oh shit!"
It's you, is it? Right, in that case, I am going to get out my packed weapon. It is a longsword, and as I unsheath it, it will glow with the same green flame that comes from Barley's eyes. Those of you watching on my arm, the moss will begin to grow into the handle of the weapon and through to the weapon itself. I'm going to walk on up to, I think, the abomination, the creature, and I'm going to attack twice because I can with my packed weapon.
Okay, so interesting point of order.
Uh-huh.
You're walking up around into the anti-magic cone.
Yes.
I suppose you're activating your packed weapon isn't magic at this point, is spellcasting. So yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I have to activate as an action, though? I just assumed it was always activated.
No, I think it is an action.
It's an action.
Or
effect.
just
It was-
summon.
It was, I mean, it's already with me. It was more for flavour, which is the lighting up of the sword. So it's up to you, Sean. I don't mind either way. I can use an action to...
You don't
Yeah,
have
my
to
weapon.
concentrate on anything or...
No.
No, I'll allow you this one.
Cool. Okay. All right. Well, I will mosey on up to the creature and I will attack twice. One-handed because I've got my shield out. First attack is 25 to hit.
25 hits.
Second attack to hit is not as good. It's a 10.
Does not hit.
Okay. So one attack is 15 points of sword damage.
Nice.
Slashy.
Okie dokie. So yes, you've strode up to this creature, and that's action. Any bonus?
Yes, I'm going to use Hexblade's Curse upon the creature.
Okay. It is cursed. There's no save or anything. It's just it is marked.
Yeah, it's just cursed. It's just cursed, Sean. For a minute or until it dies, I get a +3 bonus to damage rolls, etc.
Okay. Well, we will start tracking the number of turns now. Not that I expect it to last a minute, but we can hope.
Okay.
It is now the creature's turn. It has strode up to Durok, who was kind of heading towards it anyway, but with a bit of psionic help has been shunted towards it and attempts to embrace the figure that he believes he can see. But the Woe Strider, with almost delicate in its movement, but deadly quick in its execution, slashes a long fingernail across Durok's stomach. Entrails spill out and he drops to his knees in front of the creature.
Ooh.
Get yourself safe, Phil. You're our only hope.
Yeah.
That is one of its attacks, and its other attack is actually it's just with its other hand looking through the entrails, holding them up in its hand and just kind of inspecting them.
What level is Durok? 2?
He's only just recovered from a skin plague. I mean,
Oh, are we?
Look how well it went.
Wizard.
We're only just
the most
recovered 2,
powerful
Sean.
wizard
Do I
in
suddenly
the
have no
world.
hit points? What happened?
I have a con modifier of -10.
you've heard of plot armor. He had its opposite.
I thought it
Plot
was a
deficiency.
wheel strider. No.
Turns out this special ointment you gave us also removes all of our hit points. Just takes them
The-
all away.
Did the amount of egg on his face just suffocate him, Sean?
That's the creature's turn. So it is now Juliet.
So this thing is, if Barley run up into contact with it, it's about 30 feet away. We are, I presume, in some kind of badass Avengers style lineup. facing up against it, so we're full in this cone.
I just look completely confused. I'm still like, what is going on? I have no idea what's happening.
Quick question.
We can't see it.
The Woe Strider, the anti-magic cone functions in front of it, but it didn't dispel the spell effect entirely, correct?
No, I'm
anti-magic feels
I'm
like
gonna
that.
Yeah.
So in which case, it would still be the parts of it that are not dispelling it would still be affected. So
it'd still be
would
in
take
it.
the
So
damage.
was it a save that it does, or it just takes damage?
Let me just check because I haven't used this spell a lot.
Cold at
So
start.
it starts its
2d6
turn,
obviously.
it takes 2d6 cold, and it ends its turn. It must make a dex saving throw or take 2d6 acid.
Do you want to roll the 2d6?
Sure. So the 2d6 cold initially is 6, and then the dex saving throw, which I presume is against spell DC.
Oh, I'm not rolling well, as usual. 11.
Cool. So that's another 2d6 of acid. And that's another 6, so 12 points of damage altogether.
Cool. Yes, it is. It is indeed still within the arms. So yes.
So there's a wedge of it that we can all see through, but we can't see it because it is the epicenter of the wedge.
Do you see this shining face?
Yeah, you see this face that you can't see.
Is that enough to target it?
Technically, if it's within... Right, this is going to be an annoying rules question. Technically, if it's within the spell, it's blinded. But
its face
isn't within the spell, but it is.
Yeah.
But it obviously makes the most sense for it not to be blinded, even though rules are funny things.
Yeah.
It's your call.
But if it's blinded, it might not also hit the wizard and disembowel him. I mean,
the only
Like, it's
bit of it
rummaging
we
around,
can
so it can't
see is anti-magic.
Yeah.
So our angle on it is non-magical. This isn't magical if I do this, and I'm
Chucky
going
Javelin.
to a really interesting proppy version to explain what Juliet is doing at the moment.
Is what I made earlier.
Lifts up a
She's going
halo
full angel bitch.
or ring light.
Popping out my radiant soul. Got big glowing wings, eyes burning like sunlight, and a big old halo.
Halo, gods only know.
Halo, and
maybe we can see your halo.
yeah, this is just weird, and I'm just gonna float a little bit, 5 feet above all my friends. Just because I don't quite know what's going on. There's this darkness, there's this wedge. Barley run into it, I can't see Barley. I'm just gonna hold there. That was an action.
Is Barley in the wedge?
Yeah.
That's everyone thought they were going to say today. I thought I was in the wedge because I was running towards...
Oh. Sorry, yes, same thing. Yes, you are in the wedge because you needed to access it via the non-difficult terrain bit.
But you've got Hexblade's Curse, which is a magical effect.
Interesting.
You would have had to
But I was
cast
in
it.
the wedge, but I cast it after I hit the creature. So I
Yeah,
was
but-
not... Oh, God, I was in the
Yeah.
anti-magic.
You were in the anti-magic field.
It depends
No
what
one
you
will be
count as
seated
magic.
during-
Anti-magic doesn't very clearly specifies it's not
It's
just
not a
spells.
Okay.
Is it a magical effect? Does it say in the description that it's magic? That's normally the definer. Is alright. It's literally
that's
rules as
not
written.
right.
Does it say magic anywhere? Like a warlock's pact weapon is not magical because it's still a weapon.
It's considered a curse.
But you have to cast it.
It's once per short rest as a bonus action. Choose one creature you can see and curse it for 1 minute.
I'm going to allow it.
Cool. I mean, that's the hand wave, Sean. I think we may have to do a lot of that.
No one will be seated during the rules portion.
So yes, I am in the wedge. Just to confirm, that's where we started. That's where we are. Yes.
So you don't take the acid damage.
It feels like there's only room for one person in the wedge because it's quite tight, so I'll let Barley have a go. Dibs next.
It's a tight wedge. What do you say?
Just call me.
What, are you doing anything else with your turn? You've activated...
Activated, just floated up slightly, but I want to be within 5 foot of as many people as I can, 10 foot definitely of everybody, and say, kind of get closer to me, and shield is up.
I think everyone apart from Barley, who's obviously right up next. right up
What
in
was
its
your
grill.
action, John? Sorry, I missed it.
I'm just kind of flying slightly above.
Oh, is Radiant Soul an action? I don't know.
Radiant Soul is an action,
Right.
so that was what I did. But hopefully it will be useful. That's me.
That's you done. Murine. Dumbfounded Murine.
Yeah.
You have seen that your friends have started attacking it.
Yeah. Can I see that the wizard got disemboweled or not?
Jurok was right in front of the creature, which is kind of where the anti-magic field is. So yeah, literally your view at the moment is a face which is piercing through the magical darkness that you can't see through, and then just a bleeding out wizard in front of them.
And Barley's right there.
And Barley's right there as well.
That's enough. Sean, does my swarm count as a magical effect?
I
To
would
look at
not.
the exact wording on it?
No, I'm not going to deny you the entire point of your class. I will deny you your spells, as I have many, many times so far. But no, I'm not going to take away your rats.
Okay, cool. Then in which case, let's do this. I will. How far away is it from me? 30 feet, we said, yes?
Yeah, 30 feet if that's
Cool.
what you want.
I have 40 feet of movement and I have the mobile feet. Can I run in, run around Barley, attack it, and then run behind Barley to sort of. Because it's 30 feet forward, it's basically 30 feet straight in and then 5 foot forward, 5 foot back. Do a little loop-de-loop.
To get around Barley, you'd have to enter the Hadar sphere.
You have to start
So
your
you're
turn or end your
moving
turn, and I'm not
half.
going to.
Yeah. 30 feet away, you've got 10 foot left, and it's halved. No, I think you've got enough movement to dip in and out.
You would need 20 feet of. Oh, you've got mobile, so you're not affected by difficult terrain.
I am not affected. Cool. Right. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to run in around Barley, just going, I don't know what's going on, and just leap around and use Barley as like a maypole and sort of swing around, flip the swords out a few times as I go, and then land behind Barley again. I'm going to try something. I've got a thought it might work. It's 3 attack rolls because I'm not using a bonus action to do anything else because I can't cast spells.
I just love the fact that if I get hit by this cone, it's going to dispel my potion. I'm so
You can cast spells when you are out of the anti-magic field. So when you dip into the
I could use Zephyr
Cold.
Strike. I could use Zephyr Strike to get in. It doesn't make any difference because Zephyr Strike is just a sort of clever way of adding what I already have. I don't need to, so I won't. I'll just use it and have 3 attacks, please, because I've got 2 weapon fighting. I'll just go to town.
just thinking if I think if you were to enter with an active field, it would end. So you would have to be outside
There's
of it.
no point in doing it. It stacks on damage, but I don't need to do it anymore because of all the other things I've got added in. It's just flavor. Right, in which case then I will just run in and attack 3 times. Yeah.
All your damage.
Well, run my attacks first. I'll favored foe while I'm there. Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Good. Right, 3 attacks. Come on now. 25.
Hits.
14.
Does not hit.
22.
Hits.
On the first strike, instead of adding extra damage from my swarm of rats, which I can do, I'm going to use one of their secondary effects, which is... I needed the... what was it called? Thing.
It is a woe strider.
Whoa, Strider. Whoa, Strider. I need it to make me a strength saving throw.
The lines from Lord of the Rings.
We're saying on Aragorn to stop.
My
That
dice
was
my
in
dice rolls are doing me injustices. I've got a pretty decent strength mod. But I only rolled a 6, so that's only 10.
Sean, I can move the Woe Strider up to 15 feet horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
The swarm literally pushes it away. I want to push it back through the portal. I want to cast Nope. So as I run in and basically use Barley like a maypole and swing around and swing out with the 3 strikes, 1 misses, but the swarm just envelops the Woe Strider and just like moves it back through the portal.
as its anti-magic cone is currently active, does it dispel the portal? It's got to.
No, but it was coming through the portal.
through the
it would have
portal
seemed
anyway.
like it would. I don't think it's the kind of.
If you keep pushing it back, it might.
What was the anti-magic cone always active, or was it just a thing it can do? Because I thought
I think it's all.
It's a thing it can do.
Yeah.
Then in which case,
So it started doing it once it had come through. If it's been pushed back through, still facing the portal.
hands up, DM ruling. It's up to you.
Arguably.
I'm not going to let you get through the bone.
You're not going to
boss
let us
fight.
cheese this fight.
Trying so hard, Sean.
You will fight my monster.
I just opened up the console commands. I'm putting in exploits.
It's CR is appropriate. You can do this.
No, it's
You know,
fine. It's fine. Someone closed the damn portal. So that's 2d6 plus 8 plus 1d4. I didn't use the extra damage, and I don't have anything else up. That's everything, isn't it? Yes, it is. Right. So that's that plus that plus d4. Stacking damage.
And is all of Hadar darkness currently repressed, or what's the angle of the cone?
I think it was 15 foot push back. So it's, I would say with a 20-foot sphere, it's now sitting inside the cone completely, which I think.
Although is the cone itself being, constricted because it's going through a portal? How does physics work? It's obviously your call.
I'm going to do the fairest thing, which is I'm going to roll a d6. On an odd, the effect is dispelled effectively when all of it is within it, or on an even, it has to be you that falls under the.
It's the effect. No, Sean, it's the effect, not the caster. Anti-magic skills are very specific. It's the if an effect falls within it, it stops happening.
It stops
because it's suppressed. It's Eltron's still concentrating, and it still exists technically, but it's not actually there because of the way that anti-magic feels. They're very specific because they're different from dispelling.
Well, there you go. That's the ruling. Unfortunately, the spell has fallen entirely under the effect.
Well, we can all see it. That's not bad.
Thing.
I also had a d6 for my sneak attacks. I'm now level 1 rogue. So that is 7, 6, 3, 6, 9, 16, 22 points of damage, and it's pushed back 15 feet back into the wrong desert, and just shout, maybe we should let it stay at home. Anyone? Too much.
Okay. In that case, we are back to the top of the round, which is Tuaski.
Okay, I can see it. Is it in the portal or is it with us?
It's kind of halfway through.
Spell it.
15 foot! 15 foot! It was only just through!
It had advanced quite a bit.
Okay, I can't dispel it, but I can. Here's wishing that I could have picked up another spell because I definitely would have called lightning, but
Nah.
no, I'm just gonna.
Sean, if you dispel
It's
a
just gonna
portal with a
look
creature
at,
halfway
isn't it?
through it, what happens to it?
It's probably not going to go well. Yeah, it's like shutting a portcullis on something that doesn't want a portcullis shut on it.
So
Okay.
we're the sensible way of dealing with Thanos in Avengers Endgame, not the insensate way of dealing with Thanos in Avengers Endgame. Got you.
Okay, I'm gonna cast. This is gonna be silly,
Establish that
but
portals
I'm
come through things and they don't bother.
gonna cast a second level moonbeam, mostly because it might look up and dispel it other at a different level. So
I love how we're just coming out with everything that we've got that can push it.
well, no, this doesn't push it. It just puts it in excruciating pain.
Is the moonbeam
So-
like on its arse, so it can't
Like
get rid of it
yeah,
without turning
like
its head round?
it has to look away from the rest of us. Hopefully,
Really smart.
So I've.
And you can maintain concentration, so you just wait for it to look back at us and then keeps going.
Yeah, as long as it don't move
Yeah.
too
You
much.
can
But
move
I guess it can move.
So you can move as a bonus
If you-
action.
No, I can move it, but it has to be in there at the start of its turn to take the damage. But
We'll take it before it moves.
yeah, as long as you don't push it all the way out of it, should be fine. But I'm centering it at the back of it, just getting the back little bit of it. It's 5 foot radius on this creature. And yeah, so a silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5 foot radius. So like, think of that as Swaski stroking the focus at their ear. And as they do, like this light starts to kind of sort of appear from above the creature and then get stronger and stronger and wider until it's like this 5 foot like radius, like shining right down of really bright silvery pale light. But yeah.
And it doesn't do anything until the beginning of its turn, yeah?
No.
Okie
But oh wait, hang on. Yeah, you make a save on its turn.
Its turn. Okay. In that case, Eltrion, you are up.
Righty ho. I need to be clear on this. How close is it to the portal?
It is.
I want to know what this was.
It is literally halfway through the portal at the moment. It had advanced quite a bit, but Neurine's rats have pushed it, so its kind of rear quarters are through the portal.
So I can either smash the gyroscope, or I can try and push it further through back to the other side.
You can shove as a bonus action with your telekinetic shove. Why not shove it and then smash the portal?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. We'll see if the shove works, because I've got another spell which I don't have to be able to see it in order for it to work. So I can be outside of its cone. So I'll try shoving it first. I don't know if this will work. This is a strength save, DC 16.
That's
Strength
14 for me.
DC 16. Dice don't like me today. It's only a 10 again.
Oh.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Great. So you're pushing it 5 foot, was it? Or 10?
5.
5 feet.
5 feet. It's large, but yeah, that's enough to it is now fully on the other side of the portal.
I feel as if the chances of me being able to destroy the gyroscope in one... Well, I don't know. Does it look fragile, Sean? Does it look like a single smashy might do the trick?
It's quite a hefty piece of apparatus. I previously described it as kind of, quite large, 15 by 15 foot square kind of thing. But I would say it's got a lot of little moving parts.
You've got a metal arm.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. I could just utilize it. Those are my two choices, basically. Either try and destroy the gyroscope, or try to I use distant whispers and make it run away its entire movement so that it can't get back in through the hole next time around.
Saving throw. I mean,
yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw, and I don't know how wise it looks.
it's got no face.
Yeah, because I got a DC 17. I don't have to be able to see it. It just has to be able to hear. I don't know on this one. I don't know.
A spell that would damage the gyroscope?
Chaos Bolt.
Yeah.
If in doubt.
If in doubt, smashy. I might
your
try and...
Your strength was currently what? 21 plus 6?
My strength was currently +5, so that's probably my best bet. But do I have to go through the anti-magic cone in order to get to the gyroscope?
Interesting.
I would say that you probably would, yeah. It's kind of nestled in its little nook.
In which case...
Doesn't matter because you won't have that strength score by the time you arrive.
Yeah,
oh no, you
exactly.
would. You would. It suppresses. It doesn't get rid of it. You would run through it and then suddenly Hulk out when you're out of it.
Cool.
That's going to be a really interesting visual effect.
Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Let's see if it can be done.
Give me. Are you literally trying to use kind of brute strength to rend some of this?
I'm literally going to use physics and just stick my arm in it and hope that my arm is stronger than the wheels.
Gold is a very soft metal. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's like,
well, it's not gold. It's magic. It's magic.
You said it was
Magic
solid
gold.
gold. You've repeatedly said that it's solid gold, Dave.
Yeah, it's solid gold, but it's adhered to me through magic.
Okay.
So the bonding strength is such. Well, on a brief glance at this gyroscope, what do I feel would be the best way of destabilizing it?
I mean, rule of cool, sticking a big gold arm into a moving gyroscope is the most fun thing. And
maybe
also,
not the big cranky bits, but the smaller ones, and I just hope that the tensile strength, holding it with my other Hulk arm so that it's in place, with a crowbar on the end, because fuck it.
Roll high, because otherwise I guess you might also lose the arm along with all the flesh on it.
Don't roll one of your patented natural ones.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Nat one means you break it, but you're sucked in while it
It
happens.
was initially not there. I don't know. Can I utilize the crowbar in any way on this? As a lever?
I'm not going to give you advantage on it, but I will say that if you, because you've used your giant strength potion, and I want you to kind of have some validation from that, it will be athletics.
Okay. Well, I'll give this a go, and there will be some maths involved because I haven't been able to. The highest I can set my strength score is 18.
Hang on, before you do it.
That's a 21.
Never mind.
21.
Yeah.
I think that's enough. Eltrion jams his golden arm in, judging for the best moment when the circles are kind of spinning. Well, they're spinning astronomically fast, but they're going at such a rate, and you jam your arm in, and one by one the concentric rings just jam on your arm. I'm going to say you're pretty much held in place by this.
Yeah.
But as this happens, the electric of the field starts to crackle and starts to fizz away.
Is Eltrion in pain? Does it look
Yeah.
like this is going to be a problem? Does it look like he's getting sucked into the portal?
You're not being sucked into the portal. The gate is slowly closing, and the creature, in exasperated state, is trying to kind of claw its way back through. But obviously, it's not its turn yet, so it remains inactive for the moment. But yes, your arm is kind of held fast in several places by these concentric rings.
Is the arm bending, breaking?
Yeah, which is going to give out first?
Probably your arm. But you have suppressed the portal for the moment, and it's slowly closing.
That's fine. This is going to be a series of increasingly difficult athletics rolls, isn't it? All right. Well, look, that's what I've done. Let's see what happens next.
I will say that for your efforts, you have closed the portal significantly enough that the cone has been restricted to a line.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
So you can
Darkness
approach a bit.
blossoms up on either side, or yeah.
Oh, drop concentration. It's not here anymore. Just drop it.
At the moment,
Do
only
you take
Barley and
damage
Mira-
from
Line of sight.
Do you take
Yeah.
damage from that
I'll-
situation? Can you maintain concentration?
I mean, it's a golden metal arm. I don't think I can reasonably take HP off you for that. I will say, however, that Murine and Barley are currently stood within the Hadar.
Yeah, in which case I'll drop it. Easy.
Anything else in your turn?
No, I think just screaming a lot. A lot of screaming.
Many screaming. Barley.
Cool. I'm going to run up to the creature, half in, half out, to the side with my weapon, and I'm going to attack twice.
Okie dokie. Roll your attacks.
I will. When I find the right page on D&D Beyond. There we go. First attack is a 22 to hit.
22 will hit, yes.
Second is a 13. Probably not going to hit. But let me remember to add 3 to this roll. So that's 12 plus 3, 15 points of damage.
Nice.
And I'm going to have a little minute. Hold on. Let's have a think. I will drop a hex as a bonus action on the creature, using strength as the ability to hexerate.
Accelerate.
Accelerated.
Hexafil.
Okay.
Hashmana.
And is that everything on your turn?
That is everything on my turn,
Okay.
yes.
So when it wants to do strength ability checks or strength?
Saving throw.
Save-
Ability checks. Ability checks.
Okay.
Still, might help.
Yeah.
Might do. Okie dokie. Right. Well, it is now the creature's turn.
That's a
I'm gonna go on.
quick thing.
Mhm.
Could I have cut like the moonbeam? I said it was centered on its ass.
Mhm.
If the ass was on the other side of the portal.
No, you move it as a bonus action on your turn, don't you?
No, yeah, I move it on my turn, but it was within the portal, and it's a large creature, so part of it. Sorry. The moonbeam was centered on its
But
behind, and as a large creature, it was only moved 5 feet, so it should technically be within it. But I guess
still
it would
within it.
mean that I would cast it on the other plane.
Do you need to be able to see it in order for this damage to continue?
No, I just need to concentrate on it.
Okay.
So
there's a moonbeam in some horrible other sphere of existence just slowly irradiating the
No,
ground.
I think reasonably that makes sense that the moonbeam originated from inside there. Yeah. No.
Okay.
So what are you rolling extra?
no. It must make a Constitution saving throw now.
Where's my dice jail? Constitution, that is an 8.
Oh dear
Okay.
God!
Have I
Nice.
passed the plague on to you? Sure.
I've always had the plague.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much damage. It's only... Oh, I can't add it. It's not telling me. 17 damage.
It's not
pretty
that
hefty.
much damage. It's 17 damage.
That's quite a respectable amount of the mark.
Yeah. At level 6, yeah, it's grand.
Cool. And that's just at the beginning of its turn. Was there anything else that happens with Moonbeam?
No, it's just engaged in ghostly searing flames. That's all.
Just.
Yeah.
Actual ghostly searing flames.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop them down.
Ghostly Searing Flames for 1. Have a Ghostly Searing Flames for 2.
But maybe it will divert its attention away from the portal.
Barley is right next to the gate at this point.
Hello.
The creature is going to make its attacks on Barley. That wasn't me rolling. That was a D6 anyway. It's just falling off of my stuff. So makes 2 claw attacks. Oh, and 1 bite attack.
Oh, bless.
That's not going to hit you. That's only a what was it? It's an 11.
It's not hit.
Hit you if you're a wizard.
Threshing
I am
barley.
not.
The second one is a 23.
That does beat my AC, Sean.
That does.
Shocking.
About time something did.
All right, babe.
Can you cast
Not you
shield?
specifically.
You can cast shield, can't you?
Oh?
The Hexblaze get shield? The Hexblaze got shield.
Well, I mean, if they do, I don't have
Would
it.
shield work?
Nah, it's +5 after an AC of 18.
No, but even like as a magical effect, isn't it? So it wouldn't.
It's a magic field.
It's a line now. Oh, interesting.
You're stood
Which
in
is in
the
it.
line. That is 8 points of slashing damage
Okay.
and 2 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
It is. It says it
It's a
makes.
nosebleed.
Yeah.
Psychic damage. Suddenly, I want to talk to it more.
It is unable to do its bite attack because it has to be on something that is grappled, and it can only grapple you if it hits you with both claw attacks. So I cannot, in fact, do the bite attack. So that would be the end of its turn, except what it is going to do is it is going to look up at the moonbeam and suppress that effect.
That means it's not looking out at us.
Yes, that is no longer emerging from the portal. But that does mean it is now Juliet's turn.
So I realised, being in that anti-magic field, Juliet, who is a very slight, shorter lady, but gets all her strength from the Gauntlets of Dawn, while she popped her wings out, her whole body was just hanging in plate armor because she cannot carry it naturally herself. So happily, her angel wings carrying her up like that. Guys, we might have a problem. But now it's looking over, it's like, it's on, bitch.
Oh, perfect.
So how far away is the creature? Can I fly up to it? My 30-foot?
You've got definitely.
Could I reach the machine?
Yes, both. It is literally kind of peering out of the remnants of the portal, which is currently being suppressed because rings are clamped fast on Elchion's arm.
It's a free action, just little help.
Yeah, I mean, if it's currently kind of parts of it is locked, I'm gonna fly over and deck it.
Okay.
With a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Thunderous Smite, just to give it a little extra
Smite the machine.
Yeah,
Rage
why not?
against the machine.
Nice.
No, it's a paladin, it's a barbarian. Sorry.
Right, burn that. Yeah, I'm gonna hit this machine, please.
Okay.
Angelus Ex Machina.
The machine.
Yeah, roll me your attacks. What have you got?
Oh, hang on, let me re-equip my gauntlets. Currently, that's a very embarrassing number.
Currently, I cannot hit it because my sword is too heavy.
+1. Right. Hit number 1 is a 13.
13 does not quite hit. It's you hit the machine, but you don't penetrate
Okay.
anything particularly vulnerable.
Go on, Juliet.
Let's have a go. Happily 2 attacks. Oh, another 13. It's 2. Tring, tring. I'm getting nothing.
Not there, here.
Sorry, I wrote down a number before you rolled, and it's
No,
updated.
that's how the dice roll. So that's bonus action, movement, action.
Okay. Noreen, Barley, who was previously in front of you, has moved towards the slowly closing portal.
Slightly to the right of the creature in my mind. I've just sort of moved around to the side and I've been hacking from there.
Because otherwise the hex wouldn't work.
You've also got a pretty hefty passive perception, haven't you?
Yeah. 16.
You look around and you can see that the walls of this cavern appear to be growing a little bit translucent.
It's a free action to talk.
Yes.
Cool. Tell me when I'm pushing the bounds of credulity for you.
Mm-hmm.
I will run forward towards the creature and stop with Durok on the floor. How do we turn it off? How do we turn it off? Why is the wall going see-through?
By this point, Phil has actually headed over to Durok and is cradling him in its lap. Durok is not responsive.
I look up at Fail. Say, how do we turn it off? How do we get out of here?
Fail
Why is the wall going see-through?
Fail points back towards the wall of the caverns that you had seen and holds up its hand. And I think that's about where you can get to.
In which case, I will smear my hand through the entrails on the floor. I'm just going to hang on to that.
Sniff them, taste
That's
them.
normally what you do.
Lick it. No, I don't want to know what it is. I know what it is. That's to know what it is, and I know what it is. And I don't want to eat it. Can I run up to the machine and try and turn it off with the blood? Just touch it with a no? That's kind of what I understood from Fail.
Fail was pointing back towards the portal, the door.
Okay, fine. No, the machine! The machine!
You get a shrug.
Fine. Then in which case, can I attack the machine? I'm only using short swords. It's up to you how I would do that, but can I try and break it?
I mean, there are...
Here, have a crowbar.
It's a hefty machine, but it's made up of lots of delicate moving parts, so...
And I've got a climb speed, so I can just go all over it and just trying to break all the bits of it down. Cool, I'll do that. Right. I think I will still not bother with magic because I still think the magic isn't working. That's all I've got. Right, so that's just 3 attack rolls. Bang, bang, bang. 12.
Does not hit.
18.
Hits.
19.
Hits.
Okay, I'm going to apply Fury of the Small to this one as well and just do it all. So, do I sneak attack the machine? I'm guessing no.
You have advantage on it, I will say. Not advantage, but you.
No, there's an ally within 5 feet. That's the question.
There's an ally within 5 feet.
But it's an
because
object.
Eltrion
It's up
is.
to you.
We will have called it.
Cool. We have 9 plus 6 plus. It's not my favorite foe. 1. 7, 16, and I'll add Fury of the Small, so that's 21 points of damage to the machine. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to make it go faster or slower. I don't know. I'm just jamming swords into bits and hoping. Oh, and the rats will also do damage to it. That's better.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
You
The rats
do
will do damage to it as well. Thank you. Don't need to move it. That's another 4 on top, so that's 25.
25 points of damage.
Yeah.
You shove your sword into a lot of the hinges and the axes that the concentric circles are joined to one another. And you get all sorts of electrical sparks, hisses from valves that are suddenly breaking, and the pneumatics no longer able to exert their pressure. Eltrion, your arm is released as the circles go slack and just rotate of their own accord. The sparkling electric portal fizzles, closes further, and with a sorrowful but bloodthirsty anguish scream, you just hear in your heads this horrific voice in this almost childlike horrific fashion, screams, and then as the portal closes, stops entirely.
Challenge for the sound designers there, Sean.
The portal is closed, the machine is slack. You look around you and you can see that the roof of the cavern it looks more like clouds at this point.
I think we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Hold up my hand, covered in blood. I got it.
Leave this plane.
I will start running down the corridor and reach towards the portal and just.
Is Phil still active?
As are you going up to Phil?
I would do, yeah.
So Phil is currently cradling Durok in its lap, sees Murine running off with the blood on their paws. Phil will do the same thing where their hand kind of deforms into 5 points equidistance, takes the axe that you gave it and severs its hand at the wrist and gives it to you, and stays there with Durok, cradling.
I would actually try and carry Durok.
Just carry him out. What are you doing?
Allow it.
Yeah.
Do we now just go, thanks, no thanks, and pick the body up and run out?
Yeah.
Okay, pick up my own hands and come off.
Yeah.
Stitch it back on, Phil, it's fine.
Because I'm thinking like there's clerics and stuff. There's still questions that need to be answered. I definitely want to take Durok's body with us if it was possible.
So
Phil is remaining fairly steadfastly and kind of holding Durok. There's not really time to coerce them both.
Yeah. So as he runs over to the desk, basically tries to grab as many of the papers as possible, especially the stuff about the test, the elixir and stuff that they'd written down.
I'd help with that, just in passing, just grabbing whatever was to hand.
Yeah. And then they would, I don't think there's anything else they would grab. Then, they would go.
I've been flying over the looty bunch, just making sure if they need the aura protection, it's there. Last person out kind of vibe.
Actually, would just take a couple of Durok's hairs.
Okay.
Because regeneration's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get any resistance from Fail. Fail stays there. One bloodied stump of a wrist, just.
Thanks, Fail.
I'm slapping my hand on the wall, presumably not always going, why is it not working? Why is it not working?
I will take Phil's hand. Just say, Thank you, Phil. That was very kind of you. And hastily move on up to Murray and pass them the bloody stump.
Ah!
Oh, you meant to use it. Phil said it was okay.
What? But my hand's covered in their blood. It's good. I've done it. I fixed it. Just slapping the wall. Why is it not opening?
Is everyone back at the portal at this point?
Yeah, I'd have said so.
Yeah, I would
Watching this shit go
My
down.
intelligence score.
Imagine that, like, Barley handed Maureen the hand, and Maureen was like, ah! Good shucks,
Actually. And I'll just very slowly just boop the hand onto the door where it needs to be, onto the portal.
And as the portal opens, you are all. I don't want to use the term sucked off, but you are brought away from your footing
Hey.
and into the portal.
Every story needs a happy end.
Something should have one. You find yourselves again in the submerged room, the portal at your back, a floating severed hand near you. The whole house is shaking.
Shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm running. Like, I'm very fast. I'm just getting the hell out.
You've got the rope as well that you can use to assist
I
yourselves.
can climb, and I don't care. I'm just running.
Well, the rest of us need it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
You run down the stairs, and up the stairs and then down the stairs, and towards the first floor of the house where you can emerge into the study, and you will keep going.
Grabs the scrolls.
Run down.
we still got the hand, right?
You've still got the hand if you wish to still have the hand.
Are there any
I
of
think
the?
we might need it.
We know they're Grimishkas now, but are there any of the hyena things left? Did they miss some?
No, you managed to clear out.
So there's just Grimishka corpses everywhere.
I mean, I believe,
Mureen screaming longer and louder. I was,
I believe that Barley was hoping to grab one on the way out. So I'd say
Let's get one from the gift shop. Yes,
one.
I was quite keen on having one.
there's one kind of cowering under a
There's a little
under a
runty
curtain.
one. Can I have the runty one? That's
You can have a runty Meshka.
Oh, I thought you were gonna take one
idea.
to the taxidermist.
yes. I'll grab little Susan on the way out. That's fine.
How are you exiting this house? Are you going for the same door that
I
you
am
went through?
running full pelt into the door and trying to claw it open. And if it doesn't open, I vanish in a puff of smoke and try in gaseous form to get through it.
So as we get the study, I would like to fly at the window in the study with both gauntlets forward and just try and go straight through that window.
Okay. Give me an
We're all just
Athletics
going, nope.
And athletics, is that? Mm-hmm. That's how it just comes out a bit better. 11.
You kind of hit into the window, but it doesn't break.
It's magic! It's all magic!
Oh, the visual on that.
Okay.
I've got it! Bonk!
Main door! Main door!
Okay.
Is
On the
Mureen
way-
just opening the door?
I'm trying my best to just open the door, and if it doesn't open, I will vanish in a puff of smoke and just be like in gaseous form trying to pass through the door to get out.
And you make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh God, yes. 21.
21. That will definitely be a success, meaning that you only take half of the fireball trap on the door. That was,
Hang on. When do I turn to gaseous form during this? Because
the door wasn't locked. You just opened straight through and set off the
in which
trap.
case then I don't do that. I just run out at the
There's
door.
just a few rat companions that may never be seen again.
No, they managed to survive all these things. I don't know how. With their magic. 11 points of damage. I'm
11
fine.
points of fire damage, yeah.
I will. Then the door will explode, and I'll just go flying out the front door, cresting his pros, and just flying into the yard.
The door is open and others weren't in the way as well, so you can emerge. Yeah, yep. You weren't within the area of effect because you're all darting around. The door is open.
Okay.
Go, go, go!
On the way through the study, Swaski might have grabbed any of the remaining scrolls
The
to
unfinished
take
ones.
with them. Yeah, or the
The wizard ones.
Yeah.
The wizard ones we had from before. I
Yeah,
think.
I imagine
Yeah.
you wouldn't have put them down.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
You all may run out of the house via the open front door before it swings to on itself and retraps. As you kind of look back at the house, you can see that the very foundations of it are shaking, and you watch as the roof collapse in on itself, implodes under the weight of the collapsing demiplane, and the entire house is suddenly just crinkled like a empty container, and then just disappears, vanishes into thin air, leaving but a space, a park, if you will, with the black iron gates.
Is it over? Is it
Look over the
over?
side.
Sort of his
Green.
leg sticking out of a tuft of grass.
What time of day is it now?
Smoking. Yeah, Marina.
It's early morning. I would say for just for dramatic effect, dawn has just broken, and there is there are some beams just particularly illuminating where Juliet is currently standing.
There's one way to do it. So, as he says, looking back at the house. Guess I won't get to burn it after all.
I'm there just petting my little new pet.
Don't cast any spells.
And as you survey the scene around you, the desolation that's left by the house vanishing in such extreme violence, your eyes fall on what appears to be the remaining dugout basement and the lightly floating corpses within. And that is where we will call it a day.
God, they're still there.
We've got potions. We can fix them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're dead.
We turn them into dead bodies.
But they're floating away.
How's everyone feeling? Everyone all right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got a pet. Yes.
Straight to the
Delighted.
nearest druid grove to get this person brought back for justice.
So carry on.
I was gonna say I had manacles in my equipment. I was gonna manacle him, and then he got dead. So no justice.
I'm not bothered by your Harper shit, Dave. I am leaving.
Fair.
Is there anything outstanding that you wish to know, or do we want to leave some mysteries?
Okay, I want to know one thing, and it's only one thing. Was the homunculus actually Ivid who was there to look after him? Because there were many hints that it was.
The homunculus was created using a variation on the usual spell, which is blood and bits from the person casting to create a homunculus for themselves. Durok attempted to adapt the spell to use Ivid's blood to create a homunculi for Ivid. However, it didn't quite work as he was expecting. As to the consciousness inside the homunculi, that is a question that we may not be able to answer.
I have a question that you can answer or not. Whose voice did we hear at the beginning?
You heard the Woestrider calling to you.
Because it was amplified through the house's thing you mentioned earlier. Yeah, okay.
Closeness to the plains.
And that was what Durok was following as well. And I mean, I say the mistaken belief, but Woestriders are actually, according to the law, they are created from the souls of those who have broken the bonds of destiny. So those who have decided, as a divination wizard might, that they don't want to follow the path that is set for them, remove themselves from the plane. But unfortunately, become horrible beasties.
Oh, so it actually was.
May have been. I mean, the whole point is may have been, and that worked.
Because I wondered who crossed out the painting in that, or was that just a fit of rage?
I thought it was the homunculus scratching out its
could
own
have been,
face.
yeah. Could have been. Sawaski's very rich now. A lot of spells. Log down the old market. That's going to keep the druids in trees for quite some time.
No, I think Sawaski is going to try and use it for some political gain, obviously. They have a, guild house that they want to establish, and they're just not getting anywhere. So maybe Lord Neverwinter will...
Probably enough for a down payment, some seed capital.
Perhaps.
Pardon the pun.
Does anyone else have anything that they wish to say just before we are at the close of this adventure? So anything that they think their characters are feeling, any future plans, etc., or whatever you'd like to say?
One thing. Sorry. I would go and see about a cleric just as a, just in case they're all cured, but I have a different possible curse. So Aski would go see about a cleric. That's their first port of call.
Significantly harder to detect on a tiefling as well. Oh, I have some extra horns. That's okay.
Yeah. I'd be asking Juliet and whomsoever else might be interested to kind of come and find a way for Duroc to be brought back to answer some questions and face some justice, and then just continuing on the usual quest of doing some secret good whilst enhancing my psionic understanding and abilities, and possibly one day finding a cure for this. Oh, that would be interesting though. You get there, they're like, we've got one regeneration spell. Do you want it to be used on your arm or on bringing this person back for justice?
I think I would offer my manacles to Eltrion just to aid in this effort, and possibly offer myself as well if I can help in any way. But I think Barley would also see if Eltrion would be able to help her with her voice in her head, which is always there.
I'd be happy to help.
And maybe trying to find out what it's called.
Right.
Juliet would put it to Eltrion that enough trouble was caused by people trying to bring back those who've gone away, and it feels like Duroc had his conclusion, and it's the bed that he made to lie in. So she wouldn't, but he's welcome to go and bring back whoever he likes.
She would hear in her mind, "This is your god. He's very wise. You should listen to him."
And because she's now figured it out, you get knocked across the shin, babes.
And
this is fair.
And Murine.
If someone asks me to do something, I'll do it, because that's Urine's low charisma is not really making choices of their own. So, yeah.
Got to make my report to the Harpers. Might bring you along as a possible future agent.
Where's your Harper?
Oh, Murine. Have so much to talk about.
Right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. At least for this episode, that is all I can tell currently. But hopefully, for the whole of the entirety of this 4-part campaign, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of terrifying, mind-warping nightmares.
Yep.
But hopefully, you enjoyed it all the same. If you enjoyed tonight, we play every Monday and Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. You should hopefully know this. We also play on Mondays, which Reaping of Golden Fields would still be going on by this point. So please check that out with our awesome cast on that game. And we will be having new things from next Tuesday, new things which have been announced.
Yeah.
Our secret.
They have.
Are we allowed to say? Because
Yeah.
so we have some fantastic Christmas plans and a few one-shot adventures with a variety of people taking a turn in the DM chair. I don't mind saying I've taken my turn in doing a one-shot, and it is significantly different to this. So if you wish to see me DMing a slightly different style, go check that out when that is aired.
I think it's going to be the first one. I'm pretty sure. We're still working the details out on this, but I'm pretty sure, because this is recorded in advance, I'm pretty sure that yours will be the first one. Yeah. So next Tuesday will be Sean's one shot, which is a
Oh no, it isn't.
the Panto-themed Christmas one shot called The Way the Cookie Crumbles. Check it out.
There we are.
As endorsed by Eminem.
Other confectionaries are available. You can also join us on Fridays when we have Talk Together, our chat show, where we interview each other DMs and TTRPG personalities across the interwebs. Please check that out. It's an hour of your time well spent. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG, and you can find us and all of our content archived at youtube.com/RollTogetherRPG. There are also podcast versions of all of our shows available everywhere, so if you wish to relive the horror, but only through your ears, you may do so. And that is, that's pretty much everything that I've... Massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. There will be a link in chat now. Thank you, moderators, and thank you, moderators, for your worthy time that you spent so far. Every penny that you can give us on Patreon helps us to make all of this content, both the horrific and the hilarious and the somewhere in between stuff. Big thanks again to our sponsors, Hero Forge, Ultra Pro, Elderwood Academy, and our supporters, D&D Beyond, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Warriors of Waterdeep, and Level Up Dice. And please don't forget that we are all over social media as Roll Together RPG, so give us all kinds of follows and keep us up to date with what you're doing as well, because, we love to hear it. So all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching. I will look forward to seeing you all soon. Okay, ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.